Hello and welcome back to Ketchup Court, the spiciest coin in the land, and we are back for the Court podcast. We last week we brought in we done the build up to the Diddy trial, and we gave details in regards to what to expect from this trial. But this week we are going through the testimonies and the opening statements and everything to do with the jurors session, etc. And joining me today is none other than citizen journalist who was with me last week. Thank you for so much for joining. Right. So what can we let's start off with the jurors for a second. Who you done a bit of information in regards to who is sitting in the juror seat. What can we expect from them? What do you think?
Well, we have two social workers that are in the jury that, I think are looking at it from a perspective of um, having, uh, that experience in social work and things like that, where they know things such as like trauma bonding and Stockholm syndrome and things to explain her behaviors and why, it seemed like she may have been giving consent. So I think for
Mm.
those two jurors, there may still be a case with Cassie as the witness where they feel that her testimony was compelling. But then you have the analytical thinkers. There's a neuroscientist, I believe an investment banker or something. Uh, a lot of I forget what the other one was that I also put under the analytical thinker category, but where they're more likely to be looking at the tiny minute details of her testimony and the inconsistencies. And in that case, I feel like those jurors may be noticing that the defense may have impeached Cassie on some occasions where, she said one thing and then it turned out it was a different thing. There were inconsistencies in her testimony, especially at the end of day four. So I feel like those people might not put so much weight on Cassie's testimony as far as their ultimate decision, because remember, the prosecution has to plead their case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right. And yeah, like uh I've got the tweet that you made in regards to the reporting of the jurors is here. So let's just quickly go through that. Juror number 2 is a 69-year-old male. Um they didn't really I find it interesting that they didn't really put down their background. But yeah, moving on. Juror number 5 is the 31-year-old male. Juror number 25 is a 51-year-old male from Manhattan.
That's the 25 is the one I was talking about. He's a
Yeah,
neuroscientist, so it's like he's going to be really really analytical about it, and then look at his hobbies and things like that. Like, he's probably one of the ones thinking that this is just, consensual debauchery, in my opinion.
right. Yeah, and juror number 28 is a 30-year-old female. Juror number 55 is a 42-year-old female. Juror number 58 is a 41-year-old male.
And he works in a correctional facility,
Mm,
which I thought was interesting because his perspective on it might be from him knowing or seeing other criminals or things like that, and he may
yeah.
may have like a different opinion than some of the other jurors. So that's
Yeah,
one thing I'll highlight with him.
yeah, and so far it's a pretty young jury selection. It's pretty young jurors that have been selected so far. So juror number 75 broke that. He's a 68-year-old male, and he's a retired from a bank. Juror number 116 is a 68-year-old male, and juror number 160 is a 43-year-old female. Um, Juror number 184 is a 39-year-old male. He's
And
a
that's a
social
social
worker.
worker.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And juror number 201 is a 37-year-old male. Logistics analyst. He works as a logistics analyst. And juror number 217 is a 74-year-old female. That's a treatment coordinator. So if I'm not mistaken, that's how many male? That's
It's eight males and
Eight
four
males,
females.
four females. So
Hmm.
I, I
And then
think,
look
I
at the
think,
ages as well. Like,
yeah,
like, especially on the third page, you got all like the 60s and 70-year-olds, late 60s,
right,
late 60s, 74. I think 74 is the oldest, which is this female.
yeah. Personally, I think this jury selection is not going to be fair to Diddy because they're all experienced and they're all, in my opinion, they're all males. And in my opinion, with an all male jury, it doesn't really. I don't think it plays in the favor of the accused if it's male and he has something to do with crimes of r- rape and sex trafficking and all this. So I think he might have a tough time with that if I'm being honest with you. Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
So let
I
me.
mean, a lot of people say, females are more likely to side with Cassie, but some of the males may, like, I don't know, some of the males may see it as um, mutual, consent, where the females may be more likely to be, because they are female and they go through the experiences. So, I mean, on both sides, I feel like it could go either way. I just feel I'm more inclined as far as the ages of the males, some of these older men who may think differently when it comes to things like domestic abuse and all that stuff, because back in their era, if they're in their late 60s, which makes them part of the boomer generation, where it wasn't okay to do, but it was like kind of part of the norm for this type of behavior. So I don't know if they are more backwards thinkers, where they're just like, okay, well, that kind of stuff happens. And if she was cheating or whatever, like how they're going to react to it.
Right. Right. Let's move on from the jurors to the opening statements, and this is where both sides put in their case in chief, well, at least the arguments for their case in chief, for a jury. So we're gonna start. Shout out to NSC Press for the coverage because it's been extensive. So we're gonna start off with the prosecution and uh what do you want to read? Do you want to read the defense, or do you want to read the prosecution? It's up to you.
I'll do the prosecution.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So this is how they started it. This is Sean Combs. To the public, he was a cultural icon, a businessman, larger than life. But there was another side to him. You will hear about 20 years of the defendant's crimes. He had a team to help him: kidnapping, arson, drugs, sex crimes. Let's start with one night. He was on the hunt for his girlfriend, Cassie. He forced her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded it. He found out Cassie was seen, sorry, because I'm reading it off your screen, so hold on one
No, no
second.
worries, no worries.
You made it. Uh, Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and another man. He woke up an employee to drive to the house, but no one was there. The defendant didn't give up. He kept looking for Cassie. When he found her, he beat her brutally, kicking her in the back and fledging her around like a rag doll, but it wasn't enough. He told Cassie he would release video of her having sex with male escorts. He broke into a man's house, beat and blackmailed his girlfriend. These are not his only crimes. Cassie is not the only woman he beat and sexually exploited. 20 years of crimes. And so that's where they set up the Cassie, and that there's more victims. And then they go into
Mm,
what the RICO charge, because you have to have an enterprise. So I believe this is where they go into the enterprise. He had a business, Bad Boy Records, that made him right. He relied on his bodyguards, chiefs of staffs who ran all aspects of his life. The group promoted his power, his bodyguards, kidnapped an employee and set a car on fire, and dangled a person. So this is where they're saying, for RICO and stuff, it has to be more than one person. So they're saying,
mm,
these are the people who make up the enterprise. And I mean, that opening statement was compelling, where they point out that the bodyguards were the ones that were like doing his work for him.
mm,
Um, I felt like that part was compelling in the opening. They delivered drugs when he said, including to women he forced to have sex with escorts. He transported them across state lines and even out of the country. Let me be very clear. This case is not about a celebrity's private sexual preferences. This is criminal. He coerced and even used violence. Um, Along of this trial will focus on two women, Cassie and Jane. We will show that the defendant used, lied, drugs, threats, and violence to force them to have sex with him in front of male escorts. He called them freak offs, wild nights, or hotel nights. His staff organized flights, cars, hotels. At his direction, his staff set up the room with lubricant and lighting. The staff came in with cash to pay the escorts and drugs, which later we find out from Cassie, I believe, in one of her testimonies, where she says that the staff didn't come in while the freak offs were going on. So I
Mm.
don't know if that was a discrepancy, but he made them take MDMA or Molly and ecstasy. It made them sick but also sexually aroused. He directed every step. He expected the women to appear to enjoy themselves. He masturbated and recorded the events. Cassie was 19 with the hit song. Cassie tried
Yeah.
to work on her music, but the defendant made her turn down many opportunities. She recorded, but he had the final say over the music she released. There was never another album. He hit Cassie in the head and dragged her by the hair. But real quick before we move on to the next one, with that
Okay.
one where she recorded and she worked and stuff. Well, first of all, they're like they're implying she was 19, which all of this stuff happens when she's 21 or 22. Is where it
Mm.
starts, right? But with the recording there, where they're saying I don't know if that's like a mistake because later on in the testimony, it showed that she recorded with Kid Cudi and she was recording with Nicki Minaj and stuff. So stuff was coming out. So I don't know how much of that they can prove was just she was unpopular
Right.
and he couldn't make it happen, and how much of it was he was actually saying like, and maybe when he was telling her no, you can't be in the Most Def video, or I don't know who it was, no Common, I think it was Common's video, maybe it was because it was he didn't want her trajectory of her career in that direction, or he didn't think it would help her get more fan base or whatever. They didn't really prove that it was because he was being controlling that he didn't let her be in the video. So anyways, that was just, we'll get into the rest of her testimony, but that was just an observation with now in hindsight that I'm rereading the opening statement.
Mm. Continue.
um
Yeah.
where did I leave off? He stomped, okay. uh he stomped on Cassie's face in an SUV and then made her stay in a hotel for a week to hide her injuries. And that to me is where it's a little bit compelling too, because they're charging him with kidnapping or holding someone against their will. And I kept thinking like, well, he didn't really hold her against her will in the hotel video,
Mm.
but I forgot about the fact that she does testify to the fact that they were hiding her while she was injured. So I'm like, I wonder if that's what they're going to try and say was the holding against their will or whatever. But I feel like she had the freedom to move because at one point she did testify that she went to Connecticut with her mom. So I don't know, and she was injured then. So I don't know. Anyways, he set up freak offs as often as once a week. She spent half of her time, I guess that's just misspelled. Uh, the defendant made an escort urinate in her mouth. As you will see in this trial, he beat her in the hallway of a hotel to drag her back into the freak off, which ends up not being true because he doesn't drag her back into the freak off. The video ends up showing that he drags her about halfway and then like lets her go, and then she like
Mm.
gets up and tries to like leave again,
Live again. Yeah. And he doesn't
and
go
then
out
he
go after her.
chases her.
Mm.
He eventually chases her when she's on the hotel phone, and then eventually the security or whatever comes up, and so he she never goes like, from the video it never shows her going back inside the room. It only shows her sitting in the hallway with him in the chair, and then, or maybe there's just no footage of when they went back inside the room, but it seemed to me like the freak off never continued, and like she left,
Mm.
there's proof that she left. She even said so herself that she ends up leaving. So the way that that was worded, and I did hear the transcript on the opening statement because there's another channel that has the actual real transcript, but I don't have it to read it, so I'm not sure how that actually ended up
What's
playing
what?
out, because
Mm.
that part where she says that he dragged her back so she could continue the freak off, but I don't think he was dragging her back for that. I think, it's ambiguous there.
Okay.
Um, Initially
Let's
she
continue.
wanted to make him happy, but then she didn't want to. but the
Mm.
defendant made her. The consequences were severe. He beat her when he thought she took too long in the bathroom, which I thought was crazy. This part's crazy. But then again, I think she does say he was insecure, so I wonder if maybe like he thought she was in the bathroom like texting somebody or something, like maybe it was his insecurities or taking drugs or something, because she does say that he would get mad at her when she would take drugs like without him or on her own. So um defying him would end in violence. She fled, but he found her with the help of his inner circle. Cassie's career was in her hands. He told her he could destroy her career by releasing videos. When he said to have a freak off, she knew she had no choice. She called the escort and put on the performances he wanted. Her safety depended on keeping him happy. The relationship was complicated. Both were unfaithful, but only one of them had power. He made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. Cassie was not the only one. This was the pattern. Let me tell you about Jane. She was a single mom that started spending time with him in 2020. She fell in love with him. He was seeing other women. And I'm interested on who Jane's gonna end up being, but obviously
Yeah,
she's gonna testify under a pseudonym, so I don't know if we'll ever
I think it's
find
probably
out
Jane
who that
Doe.
is.
I think it's probably Jane Doe.
Yeah, no, I know it's under her pseudonym, but I wonder.
Yeah.
I try to sleuth out who the victim was and stuff, and then kind of hit a dead end. But um, based on her testimony, I'm sure that people will be able to figure it out. One night he told Jane about freak offs and made it happen immediately. He took her to a hotel where an escort was on the way. He directed her step by step. Jane thought it was a one time wild night. She was wrong. He continued offering a real relationship. Jane wanted the escort to wear condoms, but the defendant did not let them. Jane tried to make it through those nights without drugs. The first time she broke down and took ecstasy to finish. Another time she vomited, but he said, go do it again. Jane found two men and invited them to join the freak offs so she could choose the man she'd be intimate with. The defendant discouraged her from working. He had the power to coerce her back to the hotel rooms. He threatened her with videos. And then this is where I was like, what? Not even a year ago. So they're saying, what is it, May? So not even a year from May 2024. So sometime in the summer, um, or after in the fall, but sometime in 2024, it seems like. He became, so it was still going on. He became enraged. She tried to hide. She locked herself in her bedroom and he kicked it open. Then the bathroom, the closet, the guest bedroom, he kicked her to the ground. He did not let Jane be, he said. You're not going to fuck up my night, he said. Call up an escort and perform. Jane followed his instructions. His violence got him what he wanted. Cassie will tell you about the time the defendant forced himself on her. Mia, an employee, will tell you how the defendant forced himself on her, hand up her dress, penetrating her. And this is where it's like, okay, but there's no sexual assault charges in
Charges.
RICO,
Well, yeah.
or
Yeah.
in sex trafficking. I mean, I don't believe that that's a element to prove it. And again,
Mm.
the jury instructions will be more clear on that.
Right.
But um, all of this stuff, I don't know why they're like, they try to do that with Cassie's testimony too, like putting a lot of stuff on the great stuff. The video at the LA hotel, you will hear just how far that went. The defendant offered a hotel security guard a wad of cash, a brown paper bag with hundred thousands in $100 bill, $100,000 in $100 bills. The inner circle kept Cassie in hiding for days. For all of this, he is charged with multiple federal crimes and racketeering conspiracy. Cassie and Jane will tell you the most painful experiences of their lives. You'll hear from some of the defendant's employees, including his personal assistant, Mia, who he sexually assaulted. She is grappling with it. You will hear from the employee he forced into an SUV with a gun and from a chef. They worked punishing hours at times without sleep. They bought drugs for him. They were expected to keep quiet. Some of these witnesses have already received settlements. You will also hear some of the escorts that the defendant directed and filmed it. An escort saw the defendant assault Cassie and drag her by the face during a freak off. You'll see records from hotels and the damage and car services. You will see text messages in which the defendant tells staff to bring cash for escorts. And by Jane saying she did not want to do freak offs, you will see videos. In them, you can hear the defendant provide direction to Cassie and Jane, high on ecstasy, which we didn't see. They, I don't know. They said something about like putting screens up and stuff. So I'm wondering if they did show the jury videos, but I
Mm.
didn't see anybody reporting on videos, did you?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. Like
Mm.
I did see some people bring up videos from the time that they were on holiday, etc. But I don't think it was official court videos that was shown in court.
So I don't know if the jury did get to see that or what. Because I remember at one point they were like, we're putting up some like security screens or something so that nobody else could see anything.
Mm,
And so I don't know if that was for that evidence or what, but I'd have to look into that. You will see video of the defendant brutally beating Cassie during a freak off at an LA hotel. You will see photos of the damage, including four doors in Jane's home not even a year ago. You will see what he had in his homes: guns, med bag of drugs, lube. You will see the agreement with the hotel guard barring him from speaking after he paid $100,000 for the video. So I'm assuming that's the NDA, which I don't think has the hotel guard testified, because I know one of the people testified, but I don't. Yeah, that was the guard. I don't remember
um,
seeing that in his testimony. The NDA, because it says you will see the agreement, but maybe what
yeah.
was that the video where he goes up to him? I don't know. You will hear him manipulate Jane into saying she wanted it. His threats were to not pay for their home, text to his staff about it. I ask you to do these three things: pay attention to the evidence, follow the judge's instructions on the law, which I think that's the most important, is the jury instructions.
Mm.
Use your common sense, and you will reach the verdict that Sean Combs is guilty.
Okay, judge
So
says who for the defense? Tony Garogo says I will. Tony Garogo says this case is about love and jealousy and money. They are trying to turn it into a racketeering case. It will not work. You are the jury. You evaluate the witnesses, and finally, the story can come out. This case isn't about what you heard on the news. Sean Combs is fascinating. He grew up in Harlem and built lawful business. He worked for it. He created a culture and produced music that changed a generation. Witnesses will share with you that he is a fascinating person and people are drawn to him. That's a PR PR angle. This is. Um, because it goes on to say, if you want to climb in music, apparel, or beverages, you wanted to be around Sean Combs. He gave people opportunities to work at his companies. He had a vision that few had. The witnesses mostly loved him. The suspensions will show that he is a 55-year-old. He is going to be Sean. He is going to be Sean Combs. I am Tony Guerreros. I am honored to represent him. The only people in this courtroom who will tell you about racketeering are the prosecutors. There was no conspiracy.
I felt like that was really strong. Real quick, up at the
Go
top
on.
where she calls him Sean Combs.
Yeah,
Like I thought that was like
humanized
she's
him a lot.
introducing him, and
Yeah,
then she introduces herself. So I felt like that was like real personable to the jury. Like, this is, I'm presenting you him, and this is who I am, and like kind
yeah.
of like, whereas the prosecution kind of just went into like a bunch of crazy stuff right off the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah, and just for record, just you know, feel free to you to jump in whenever, like whenever you have something to
Yeah,
say, feel
yeah.
free. All right. Because let's go back to the opening statement. It says this case is about Sean Cohn's private life. The government has no business in that. These hardworking individuals were educated from Harvard to Howard University. As he has a temper and got violent. He's not proud of that. We own it. He sometimes gets so jealous or angry he's out of control. You will hear that he lied to his girlfriends. You may think he's a jerk or mean, but he's not tried for that. He's tried for running a racketeering enterprise. This is domestic violence. I'm glad that they addressed that straight away. I'm actually glad. So yeah, it goes on to say domestic violence is not sex trafficking. Had he been charged with domestic violence, we would not be seeing through an 8-week trial. He is not guilty of these crimes. As the trial goes on, we are going to take on accountability. We will not shy away. Sean Combs had a bit of a different sex life. The alleged victims were all getting something from him. They are adults. They they too must take on responsibility for their lives as he does for his. A free choice has pros and cons. You will evaluate these women. They made free choices every day for years. Ask yourself, what are all the ways this individual had the ability to make these choices? Ask, what is this person getting? Something they want, it may differ. Jealousy drove choices of the victims. Combs never married, but he is a many woman man. He is always in multiple relationships. He was not always honest. He drove a primal jealousy. Sean Combs is extremely jealous. You might think is hypocritical. They they remained in multi-year relationships with him. These women were in love with him. Infidelity and jealousy drove the violence. Alcohol and drugs drove things. But he is not a racketeer. This case is about his relationships with Cassie and Jane. He forgot about Mia. He forgot about Mia there as well. You will hear about swinger parties. They will testify about things that should never be heard in a federal courtroom that he liked to watch. You may not like that, but you're not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. A wealthy rapper paid for these women's homes and vacations. He is not charged with being flawed in individual. These women fought to be in a relationship with him. Cassie, I expect you will hear from her this week about her 11-year relationship. Comes with Kim Porter, the mother of four of his children. He continued with her until her death from pneumonia in 2018. His fights with Cassie were about cheating. It was a toxic relationship. They loved each other. Cassie will tell you about the jealousy of Kim Porter. Then Gina, the day of the hotel hallway, jealousy was on display. Violence by the elevator bank 10 years ago. You will see it later today. What Combs did is indefensible. The video is not evidence of sex trafficking. Cassie walked out of the hotel room with two bags. Combs comes down wearing only a towel. He stomps her and drags her by her hoodie. He comes back around to get a phone. What causes a fight about a phone? Phones keeps the secrets of infidelity. As soon as he gets the phone, he sits down. He's visibly disgusted. Cassie calls security. You will hear from him later today. The guard tells him to leave the public area. You will see Cassie telling him to get back to the hotel room. They stayed together for 2 more years after this incident. Even in 2018, they're fighting to stay together. She saw a photo of Combs with Gina. He started with her in 2014. Cassie had a choice every single today to stay with him. I think he meant to say day there. That was her better choice until she broke up with him. She was not coerced. When she left, there were no repercussions. She ran into the arms of a physical trainer Combs had hired to train her. The only free cuffs you will see at this trial were on her phone, not his. In November of 2018, Kim Porter passes away from pneumonia. Cassie did everything to be there for him. She flew to Georgia amidst a breakup. She flew to be with him. Combs said Kim was my soulmate. The end of the relationship between Combs and Cassie was triggered by that. Cassie realized all the things she would not be. She wanted to be with Combs' wife, the love of his life. She spent 11 years trying to get that. Cassie married the trainer and is pregnant with her third child. That's what I meant to say. Evaluate Combs' intent at the time for those 11 years. The messages will show she was a willing participant in their sex life. Cassie's testimony this week can't change that. In 2020 with Jane, Combs was more upfront. He told her he was dating other women. She was still jealous. Jane wanted it public. He proposed a consensual threesome. They went to a private hotel. I expect her to say she enjoyed it. Jane was desperate to be with him, to give him things others couldn't. She tried to make it more than sexual. I'm not sure how she will put it, but it always came back to parties in the hotel rooms. This was their time together. Jane did it for the cuddle. She wanted him to she wanted to make him happy. She was unable to resist him emotionally. There was a phone call in November 2023. Even after it, she flew out to see him many more times. It was toxic, but she was willing. Being a willing participant in your sex life is not sex trafficking. If she would walk away, she would have lost him. You will see her jealousy. She would see him on social media with another woman, and she will send him messages of regret. It's not coerced. She was driven to try to be in first place. This was the way to try and to get there. That is not a crime. There
But
was
right
90
there, really quick,
one.
where it says that is not a crime. I
Yeah.
saw when I was looking at the definition of coercion, though, that withholding love from someone could be coercion. So that's just something I just recently found out. So I thought that was like compelling, where they're like, it's not a crime for someone to like try and do acts to like be liked or loved by that person, where it is one of the elements of coercion. So I mean, I don't know how many people would know that, like when they're reading the jury instructions or things like that, that can be used as it. But yeah, that was something I recently found out. That it's not
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
withholding like a phone or payments or like, their financial stuff, that it can also just be like merely withholding love. Which I thought is strange. It shouldn't be criminal. It's like people should be able to love you or not love you for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I think with coercion, it can come under different context, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
so like it's not, especially for the context of sex trafficking. That one, from what I remember from the Mann Act, that one has to do with, like, let's say for example, they get a sex worker, they get someone to come and see, like if she was forced to sleep with that sex worker, that would be coercion or something like that. If it was told, oh no, like for example, don't worry, the sex worker is gonna wear a condom, so everything is fine. But it turns out the sex worker is not gonna wear a condom. That's coercion. From what I understood from the Mann Act, that's coercion into sex trafficking. That's what I understood from it. But I think the coercion that you're referring to might be under domestic violence,
Mm.
which it's a different kind of case. And I think they made a good point here, because it's not a crime to withhold your love. It's not sex trafficking to withhold your love. It's not racketeering to withhold your love from someone. But it is domestic violence.
But
It, yeah.
would it be coercion if he was like if you don't do this freak off, then I'll leave you, and then and so she just only does it so that she won't leave him. So I'm wondering if that's where they're going with it, the prosecution. But obviously the defense is like, no, like they were there because they wanted to move up in his life, and so they were trying to make him happy. Which I think with the Cassie testimony, they were right so far. Everything that you've read later, when we see Cassie's testimony, you'll see that it matches up to what the defense is saying a lot better than
Mm,
it matches up to what the
right.
prosecution
I
said.
agree. Yeah, I agree with that, because end of the day, I think her not engaging in the free cuffs, by the letter, by understanding sex trafficking, it is going into, is going into being forced in to do lewd acts, or let me try and get let me try and get it up. I try, I will get it, is being forced into doing debauchery acts, all of those things. So from what I understood of that, uh I don't think that's present here, because
Mhm.
you can argue that the free cuffs is a debauchery act, but if it's done, unless another person is involved, because unless another person is involved with that from what I understand, it cannot be classed as sex trafficking, because you have to make them do it with somebody else, because if they're doing it with you, that would be that would go under rape. Grape,
Mm.
grape. From what I understand, it will go on a grape or sexual assault, which is a different crime. But for sex trafficking, it has to be with somebody else. So when I see he's doing it with sex workers and all of that, I think that goes into the sex trafficking element. So they have the prosecution, I believe, has the case in that element of sex trafficking, but
Mhm.
maybe not racketeering, from what I understand, unless they can prove that um unless they can prove that these people were working under Bad Boy, one of his companies. because because what I think they're trying to do so far is they're trying to use the RICO to say because he hired male escorts, that's proof of it being a RICO because he hired them under his late under one of his businesses. That's what I think they're trying to go with. But how strong is that is, I have no idea. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Okay. So
Just like, mhm.
continuing on, it says there was a night a year ago when Jane hit Combs. It was born out of jealousy. He hit her back. She was overcome by jealousy. She slammed his head. She slammed his head onto a kitchen counter. Months later, she flew to see him and invited an escort. She will call it one of her best nights, a wild king night. Whatever you want to call it, this will be hard to watch. They are one. They are in one word, intimate. The government told you about someone named Mia. Why are they making these allegations now? You will conclude that everyone has a motive. With Mia, she never said it before, nor when she first started cooperating with the government. If this was so hostile, why did they not call the police? They are vindictive. Their motive is simple: money. Cassie filed a public lawsuit in November 2023. She was living in her parents' mother's home in Connecticut. She went to a civil lawyer. The civil lawyer is here today. They went to civil lawyers to make a money grab. 9 times out of 10, I know that Diddy made them say that. I know that Diddy made them say that. I can't.
But I also think that it's also compelling in the opening statement for them to cast doubt on Cassie's motivations. And then in the
Mm,
end, once she does testify, it does come out that yes, she was living with her parents in Connecticut. And, essentially they didn't have that much money.
mm,
But she's saying that it was not financial, that they just moved into her house to get out of LA and stuff like that. So it was kind of blurry there with that part.
mm.
But they are painting her, and yeah, maybe Diddy wanted to. They are trying to paint the fact that she tried to get the money out of him first before, and that's why I feel like when she says stuff like she's the voice for victims, and I hope victims can speak up. But like you didn't speak up. You decided to write it in this book and then tell Diddy that if he paid you, you wouldn't release the book, and it wasn't
Yeah,
until he said he wouldn't that you filed the civil lawsuit, and then you were in too deep, and then you ended up getting your money, and then the feds, I think, one of the theory that me and another creator, Colonel Kurtz, have is um that she might be testifying against her own better judgment, that the feds have somehow given her some kind of immunity for the things that she participated in or was a part of, um in exchange for the testimony, because um I don't think she ever wanted to testify, because otherwise she would have not taken the settlement or said, we're taking this all the way in civil court, and then have a judge or a jury decide how much I'm owed or whatever, because she wanted to be
right.
this voice. Like, I want to be the voice all the way through. I want justice to be served. But that constituted having a deposition, going into court under oath. So I don't know if she ever wanted to take it all the way, because again, she would have filed the civil lawsuit first, or sent him a letter of intent to file a civil lawsuit first, where she didn't. She wrote it in a book when she was in therapy. I believe it later comes out that she went into therapy and ended up writing this book while she was in there. And then she later says that she wanted to basically see if like he was willing to pay her to not publish it. So I don't know. It's really murky, and that's where it's like I have such a hard time with her, because I do feel for her and I have empathy. Her
Right.
being pregnant and this new life. She's got two little girls, and like it does suck, like the way that she's gonna depict it when we start reading her testimony. It's really horrific, horrific stuff, and like I feel bad. She was young, and it's like her whole 20s and half her 30s were taken up on this, and it's like. But then at the same time, when I see the end of her testimony is what really got me, where I was like, I don't know if you were the voice for all women. I don't know if you really did want justice, because your actions didn't really show that until just
Mm.
now.
Right. And just to add on to what you said, going back to her civil lawsuit, She alleged that she was raped, and she alleged it here in a trial, which we're gonna get to, that she was raped, but she never pressed charges for this rape, even though it's past the it was in 2018. The new law that forbids all statute of limitations came into effect in 2017. So she could have pressed charges for grape, which she still hasn't done. So again,
But is it
it
passed?
just
Oh, you said there was that new law, but didn't they get
yeah,
rid of that law? I thought that they eventually got rid of
yeah,
it.
yeah. They got rid of it.
Mm.
So that was in 2017, but the rape happened in 2018. So what I'm trying to say is he could have been held liable. He could have been held criminally liable
Mhm.
for his actions. And again, because that grape, as she put in the lawsuit, happened in California, but we're not seeing Diddy charge criminally charged in California. We're seeing him
And
in New York
I had
for
another theory
dangerous
that this
drugs.
might have been like through the therapy that maybe like they told her like you need justice or this or that because prior to that she was still texting him up until I believe he at one point sends her a text saying like you're gonna make a great mother or something like it seemed like they still had like some kind of friendship where she was like I don't hate you and things like that came up in the trial where she texts him I still don't hate you or stuff like that. So I'm wondering if it was somehow in therapy they were like no you need justice or you need like where she got hyped up to think that she needed to like rehash all of this and maybe through the therapy I know she had like neuron like where they put you back into it there's a bunch of stuff that I still have to read through with the actual real transcript but on what type of therapy she had like some innovative type of stuff where it's like they almost like reprogram your brain a little bit and so I'm wondering if that like she started to see it like, oh my gosh, I was a victim. I wasn't participating.
Right,
When in reality, she may have been at the time. Who
right.
knows? But,
Who
anyways,
knows?
we
Yeah,
digress. Continue.
yeah. No worries. Continuing on with the opening statements, Cassie demanded 30 million dollars. Another asked for $22 million. How many millions of reasons do these witnesses have to lie? The evidence will not make out the charges. On bribery, this is about the Intercontinental Hotel. He paid a security guard to make the footage go away. This was solely to prevent bad publicity for Combs and for Cassie. There was no law enforcement investigation. The kidnapping related to an employee. She worked for him for 10 years. She asked to work for him again. Drug trafficking, it was personal use. They worked hard. They were there to do something great and novel. It was a free choice. Was no conspiracy. He was paying different men for their time and experience. Porn actors get paid. Hulkamania, cowboys for angels. You can pay for time and experience. That is what Sean was doing, and I think this is a great argument because, like I like when we were talking, like I said, like escort services are free of not free, but they are advertised over here on the national newspapers. Like it's at the back pages of the local papers. I saw this when I was growing up. So and they were advertising for more escorts to come, and you can hire them, etc. So um them going down this line, this angle can
Mm-hmm.
may help them to get over that, because there's a difference between having employees recruit, like going back to the R. Kelly trial. There's a difference between having your employees get women for you, bring them to your house, and you have sex with them. That's different to what Sean is being accused of here, because Kelly, as
Mm-hmm.
was done for Rico, but he was actually proven that he used his bodyguards, his employees, etc., to get women to come to get not women but young children to come to his house. So that's the difference from what I understand of Rico. That's the difference here, because if you're hiring porn actors and all of that, that's not really against the law. Otherwise, the law wouldn't be there, to protect people that
Yeah,
work in porn.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um. Moving on, says you're not here to impose your morality on this man. If you listen, you'll find them not guilty of these crimes. Thank you. And that's the most important part, is the crimes that 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 he is being charged with. Is he guilty of those crimes? Because if he's guilty of other crimes, bring them. Not not things that has no relevance. If From what I understand from that opening statement. So let me try and get the first witness up. So we're gonna go to the first testimony of the first witness.
Should we just go into the Cassies? Because I mean, I honestly felt like neither one of these witnesses really brought anything to like either or, but it's up to you because I feel like the real meat of it is in the Cassie testimony, and I want to make sure we have time to read all through hers because she had 4 days of testimony.
Right. Okay. Okay. We can do that. The first testimony, we'll go back to it after we're done with Cassie, if there's enough time. But it was Officer Flores that he was the one that you know uh that done one of the raids. But to save time, let's go straight to Cassie because she was the second witness up.
And I
Uh,
think it'll go well right after the opening and closing statements, just to see
no, no, you're fine.
um,
You're fine. I
the
completely agree. I
differences.
completely agree.
Because
I am.
those other witnesses, I mean, there was a couple nuggets here and there, but for the most part, I felt like it was neither for the defense or like I just felt like they weren't very helpful for either side.
Oh,
But that's just my opinion.
there is a dancer here. Before Cassie does go on, maybe we can go through the dancer because there is some things that he testified to.
What was
He
it?
was
Okay.
in contact with yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let's go here. Let's go. Okay. All right. Mo dancer. Okay. Says Mr. Phillips. Okay. So you returned to the Gramercy Hotel. Yes. While you and Miss Cassie Ventura were having sex for hours. Okay. I think we went up too far. Okay, that's the cross exam. That's the cross exam of Philip. Okay, Philip was after Flores. I just remembered. Never mind. Let's go
That's
through the
okay.
cross.
If you wanna go through his fully, we can.
Okay, let me try and find it. Let me try and find it. Bear with me. Okay, here it is.
What part were you talking about his testimony that you found compelling?
It was the part that he was doing the freak offs with Cassie, and Cassie was directing him to pee in her mouth,
Oh,
in his
that
mouth.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, that part was neither here nor there. I know that that was like published a lot in different places about the urination, and I know one of the other creators that I work on this case with had specifically pointed out to that message because someone had the actual transcript where she says it, right? Tariq, what is his name?
Tarina Sheed. Tarina
Yeah,
Sheed.
he had the actual transcript where she says that like she was directing the urination and stuff. But I mean, what does that, in your opinion, um, have any like weight as far as like the sex trafficking or RICO? I guess you, because you're saying that she was a part of it and what he wasn't directing the whole time. I guess it does in a way.
Yeah, like I think with Phillips, what his testimony showed was that sometimes Cassie was in control of the freak offs,
Okay, yeah, I get that.
which you wouldn't expect from someone, from the way that they're painting Diddy. You wouldn't expect Cassie to be in control of a freak off. It will always be him. But from the male dancer's testimony, Philip, it turned out that Cassie had some power over it as well, and I thought that was compelling for the defense.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me continue. Okay, so okay, so I don't know where to start. Okay, male dancer. He said, okay, let me try and. Okay, Here we go. He says she was in the hotel room in Redwig. Am I starting in the right place? Okay. What did Miss Ventura pay you for? Okay, next witness is yeah, okay, it says what did Miss Ventura pay you for to have sex with her? Sean Combs was there too. My boss called me and said he couldn't find any of our black dancers, so I go to a bachelorette party in Gramercy Park Hotel in downtown Manhattan. What did you expect to do? A little stripper dance. She was in the hotel room in red wig, stockings, and sunglasses. She gave me a few $100. What was the room like? Red couches, Astroglide, a lubricant. There was a man on the right side of the room. The man had on a white robe and a bandana over his face, below his eyes, and baseball cap. From his voice, I recognized him as Sean Combs. What did he say? Um, that he was into importing and exporting. He said he was having problems with my boss. Objection. I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that after the sex was over. What happened? Cassie gave me a couple of $1,000 more. He said to give him them to give them my phone number. I did. Cassie called me and asked me for a photo. Then what? She called me to go back. I did for a few hours, and then a few times after that. Combs was always present. Yes. Any other locations? Essex House. His residence on 56th Street, I believe 210 at the time, and at her residence on West End Avenue, I think number 10. What name were you to say were there to see? Black. I would send her vulgar text messages like what? You want me to say it? Give an example. I would text her. I would text. I want to f you right now. How often did you use baby oil? Every time. Sean Combs said we didn't have enough baby oil on. He says you'll slow down, separate from each other. One time he tried to have us role play like like we had just met at an airport. We were we weren't good, so we skipped that. What direction did Mr. Combs give you? He would tell to step off and back off. How many times, if any, were told to urinate on Miss Ventura? Objection overruled. They told me not to do it all at once. Objection to him saying they. I've got it. What happened afterward? They leave me waiting for hours. The whole thing might go on for 10 hours. They were headed to the Essex Hotel. They said to go in 30 minutes. It was the first time he opened the door as himself, dressed in a suit, no mask. How did things change? He didn't feel who if anyone recorded. Mr. Combs with cell phone and camcorder. He took a photo of my driver's license for insurance. He said, "Focus it." What? That's probably objection to ESA. So, what did you understand? He was threatening me. Once I went and Cassie was slumped over. He said it's not going to happen this time. Did Mr. Combs offer you drugs? Molly, I guess it's called. I don't do drugs. MDMA, MDMH, MDA. I think I went out and handed out $100 bills. How did the Molly make you feel? Sick and euphoric and like an idiot, handing out $100 bills. Who else was present? A guy who told me he was an actual escort. He was having sex with Cassie at a apartment. The guy was looking. The guy was like looking at Sean Combs, and Combs said, don't you be effing looking at me." Objection. That's probably ESA. Let's get a fresh question. What did he look like? Black guy, kind of skinny. We exchanged phone numbers. Have you seen him in 10 years? No. Did it ever seem you were not the first person there? I've used Astroglide. Towels on the floor. After the $100 bills, did you see him again? I couldn't do it anymore. What did you get paid when you couldn't perform? Nothing. But I never asked for money. I was happy to get involved with people with such notoriety, but After I saw Sean Combs hit Cassie, I couldn't do it anymore. What was Mr. Combs saying? I see me Cassie. He said, bit B word. When I tell you to come over, you come over. I didn't know what to do. Did you intervene? No, I knew that the changes there were bodyguards. Objection. Uh, speculation, maybe, I don't know. What next? He said, "Are you all ready to continue? Did you try? I don't recall. Did you see them again? I thought I had developed some sort of friendship with Cassie. I may have been speculating. I went there. I heard him slapping her. He walked out in a towel. She ran to me. I asked, 'Why are you staying with this guy?' Objection, hearsay, overruled. She said it was okay. Nothing further. So so this is the cross examination.
Mm-hmm.
So says here you're still on the oath. Let me show you the text message. Also, before we read this, I think it's interesting how because from there, if Cassie, what I understand now from the testimony that came out about Cassie paying him, they're probably using that to say that because Cassie was signed on the bad boy, she was the one that was being used to recruit escorts, etc. So therefore, he's guilty of RICO. That's what I think is going on here. When they solicited that testimony from Philip. Um, okay, so cool. Examination of Philip, it goes as let me show you a text message chain between you and Cassie. Is that accurate? Yes. You're working for a service, a mail review service, a, a mail review show. Sorry, you were a manager, mail strippers for women. Yes. Prostitution was prohibited. That is correct. Your job was to build it up. Yes and no. I will go with yes. Objection sustained. Yeah, speculation. Did the company open fake businesses to optimize search results? Fake addresses. It was just SEO. You went to optimize the lady's experience. I have no idea what you mean. It's just a slogan. Cassie told you to say the name Black. Yes. Your boss told you someone wanted a black man stripper. Yes. Let me show you. Um, this shouldn't be on screen. Okay. Okay. She was wearing a wig. Yes. She handed you money. She handed me four K before any all robbing. Correct. She had on heels and dark glasses. Where did the money come from? Our hand. You were wearing a New York City Police Department uniform, right? I bought an NYPD T-shirt. You took the oil off in front of Cassie. The oil? No, I took my clothes off. She said it's my birthday. It appears she is enjoying herself. Yes. What was your position, missionary? I was like, did that just happen? She asked you for a photo. I do not know if Sean Combs asked for it. Ignore that. Okay, so we gotta go into tomorrow. This is tomorrow. We're gonna continue with the cross exam. Uh, hold on, let me try and get back. Okay, so continuing with the cross, he says, while you and Miss Cassie were having sex for hours, Miss Ventura took the lead. No, no. You took the lead. We were equally doing our thing. There wasn't a leader. You decided together? Yes. Further say she was in complete control of everything she was doing? I can't say that. You did not wear a condom? I did not. Your boss told you Miss Cassie Ventura paid for the hotel? Yes. She paid with a credit card? I have nothing to do with that. She used her card to pay for the dancer. Okay, that assault at an apartment on 11th Avenue. I believe it was Western Avenue. You claim Mr. Combs told her to come over. She said she had personal information on the computer. So wait a minute. And he threw a bottle at her. Correct. He comes out and says, "Are you ready? Are you guys ready? Uh, isn't it true, Mr. Combs told you, yo man, I'm gonna have to deal with this. You need to get the f out." That's not correct. In 2023, didn't you tell prosecutors? He said, yo man, sustain as not into evidence. He says, Okay, so they made him read it. They made him read the text messages, and he says, "I don't remember saying that. What am I reading here? Get the f out." Uh, did you date a model named Melia? Malia, and I didn't say I dated her. We were friends. You were with her and saw Cassie with someone, not Mr. Combs. Yes. You told Melia you saw Cassie socially. Yes. You thought Cassie wanted to see you one on one. Nothing to do with Sean Combs, right? I don't see what you mean. Uh, in front of the Dream Hotel, that's what you thought. No, you only saw her inebriated one time. One time, I saw her passed out on the couch. Mr. Combs told me I don't think it's going to happen today. The time with the RML you rotated, not correct. You watched, yes. You said Mr. Combs was directing, but do you recall meeting the prosecutors on March 28th, 2025, and telling them you didn't recall Mr. Combs giving you directions about positions? Yes. So he didn't direct. Incorrect. You thought you were in a relationship with Cassie, didn't you? No. You wanted to get along with her, to date her. If she let me, I would have. You would get jealous of Mr. Combs. No. Did you not tell him that Mr. Combs would tell you it's my turn? Okay, they're going sidebar again. Didn't you tell the government that you would feel jealous because you like Miss Ventura romantically? I don't recall that. Uh, I don't recall that. She keeps saying nothing further. So, based on his testimony, I think that they have shown that Cassie was a willing participant in these free cuffs. That's what I got from it. But redirect
Mm-hmm.
goes as yeah. Do you want to do the redirect?
Sure. It says, please explain why you now say that Mr. Combs directed you. He asked about positions, but Mr. Combs did tell us what to do and to use baby oil. The timing of the handling of the cash. How did the account compare to your stripping services? And he said about $3,800 more. How much were you paid to perform when you could? It says 700 to five, or at least $1,000 or $6,000. And when you couldn't perform, then they paid me nothing. Did Miss Ventura call you after the Dream Hotel? Yes. Do you know who she was with? No. Did she answer your text messages? Never, almost. Okay. You said you just wanted to hug her. Why? I could see she. I could see she. What? I did. Sorry, I'm reading
Take
it
your
from
time.
the.
I
I
just
could see she was afraid. Oh, yeah, she was afraid. What did you do? I could not engage. I was messed up. What did Mr. Combs say to you? He said it's time for you to go. In the Gramercy Hotel, who was in the room? Sean Combs, myself, and Cassie. When she appeared to enjoy herself, was Sean Combs always in the room? Yes. Was that the same man to who called her a B word and beat her? I did not see the beating. I presume. Objection. Sustained.
sustain.
You
Yeah.
heard slapping. Yes. Nothing further.
Recross.
Recross.
Recross briefly. This document. Do you see where you said I'm on the Upper West Side? She says 10th Western Avenue. Hit me when you're there. Yes. Do you see your text? Don't give a F if I'm a little tipsy. I love your N word. Yes. And that was after the beating. Yes. Nothing further. So ah, it's showing that there was no control from Diddy. So what I'm gonna do is while we're going to a testimony of Cassie, because that's up next. Do you want to do the direct? I'll do the cross and so on. Do you want to do it like that?
Sure.
All right, you can take over the direct. It's here.
Mhm.
So this is the testimony of Cassie.
They start. This is the government calls Cassandra Ventura. She
Yeah.
takes this stand extremely pregnant. How old are you? 38? Is that what that says? 30?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's blurry. Okay, 38. What is your work? Musician and entertainer. How long were you with Sean? 10 years. Did you get any in arguments? Yes, it would result in violence, dragging. What else did he do? Stomp me in the head. I was down. How frequently was he violent? Too frequently. I would get black eyes and bruises. Let me show you a video. And then they play the hotel video of the lobby. Where is this? The Intercontinental in Los Angeles. It was after a freak off. What does that entail? So I found that right already right there. It was after the freak off. So
Mm,
remember he said in the opening statement they say he was trying to drag her back in to do the freak off, but then here she's saying it happened after they were done with the freak off.
mm,
It was, I mean, I don't know, I have to go back into the actual transcript because I only heard it once read, and so I don't remember if that part was, if this is accurate of how it was said. But anyways, it if that already seems inconsistent. Like, was he trying to drag her back in to do it, or had they already finished and he was just trying to drag her back in to do more? I don't know. Okay.
mm,
What does that entail? The hiring of an escort, setting it up. How did you feel when he first asked for it? Confused, nervous. I wanted to make him happy. Did you agree? No one. Did you agree to one when he first proposed one? Yes. Then there were more. It wasn't something I wanted to do. It was not something that, not that frequently. I didn't
mm,
know what it could turn into. What do you mean? Making him angry. What were you afraid would happen if you said no? Through time, he had blackmail material. What did you give the government? Laptops. That's another thing I found crazy, that she saved all of it.
mm.
But I mean, why didn't she hand it over to authorities when she had it saved? I don't know. That's the weird part too. I've handed up GXB. Do you recognize it? Yes. I've reviewed this drive. It has communications and documents pertaining to Mr. Combs. Did you review photos on it? Yes. What is this photo? Me in 2004 with Carrie Morgan. When did you sign with Bad Boy Records? 2006. It was a 10 album deal. But
Go on.
where did you celebrate your birthday in the photo? In Las Vegas. Carrie Morgan was there too. We are out on the, sorry I read fast, sorry.
No, no, no worries,
I'm
no
down
worries. Take your
there.
time.
We are
Take
out
your time.
we are out on his paid
Patio.
or patio. We're out on his patio on my 21st birthday, the VMAs. What happened then? Sean kissed me in the bathroom. I ran back to my hotel. I told Carrie, when you got back to New York, I'd visit him in the Trump Hotel in Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. What were you going with your music career? Where were you going? Trying to come up with a concept. Sean called all of the shots. What is the age difference between you and Sean? 17 years. Which later on we'll see that she also had a big age gap between her and her first boyfriend. So I think that ends up being moot. How
Ron
did you
Leslie.
feel? How did you feel when Sean initiated you to hotels? Nervous, excitement. I thought we are going to talk about music. He introduced me to oral sex. I didn't understand it. Did you wish Sean? Did you visit Sean in Miami? Yes, I went with Carrie Morgan and Dallas Austin. What did you and Sean do together? Sexual intercourse. He gave me blue dolphin ecstasy on a boat. Had you had it once before ecstasy unintentionally? Yes. How did you take the ecstasy unintentionally? It was in Gatorade. When you took it unintentionally with Sean, how did it feel? Like rolling. At the time, what did you think? That we were spending a lot of time together. I thought he was monogamous. Was it made public? No, I was his artist. Also, his family, his children. Who was asked to him, or who was linked to him publicly? Kim Porter. How did Sean treat you at this time? We had fun. What was his lifestyle like? He had all these assistants. He would get things done. He traveled quite a bit. What is this photo? Sean and I at the strip club in New York, like 2007 or 2008, Halloween. How did Sean's moods vary day to day? When I don't know, that word's blurry. When it
When it swung.
happens.
When
Oh,
it
when it
swung.
swung. When it swung, could you describe it? Anger coming out. How did it impact you? Greatly. The next thing I knew, I was getting hit in the face. There was also psychological abuse. He'd tell me to watch my mouth, change my face. What would he keep tabs on you? Or how? We didn't live far apart. He'd send security to come find me or a trusted assistant. Like who? David James and Christina Corin. Was your relationship exclusive? No. Did you see other men? Yes. Did Sean see other women? Yes. He said, "I am Puff Daddy. I am insanely jealous." Did you move to LA with him? Yes. He wanted to be close to his kids who were there. Where did you live in LA? 875 Cornerstock Avenue. How tall was the building? No more than 17 floors. Where did Sean live? 200 South Mapleton. Sean would use his golf cart to get back and forth. Who paid your rent in LA? Sean, except when I had the house in Studio City. Why did you pay? Who did you pay then? I could afford, or why did you pay then? I could afford it then, and I wanted to have some control. It was accepted. By whom? Sean. How
Mm.
many songs did you write while with Sean? Hundreds. Most were never released. Some got leaked on the internet, some on mixtapes. How many albums on your deal were not released? Nine. Did you get paid for them? No. The freak offs became a job. There was no time to do anything else but to do them and then try to recover. How much time in your week would you take off, or would freak offs take? The longest was 4 days, significant periods of times. Well, I'll break here. They're back. Welcome back. Who was your manager? Who was the manager of Bad Boy Records? James Cruz. What did he tell you? That he was managing me with one hand behind his back because he had to check everything with Sean. How did you make money if your records weren't being released? I did hosting parties when Sean approved them. What comments did Sean make about your physical appearance? That I looked like a Mexican with my hair like that.
Hold on, let me try and open it up. Okay, why is this not going? Oh, don't tell me is my internet bad? Is my internet bad? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me, guys. Let me try and get this up. For some reason, it's not loading up. It's not loading up. Okay, it's now it's up. Okay, continue.
How did you like your nails? Or how did you like your nails? White, French tipped. Hair? It varied. I shaved my head in 2000. Your body? Or 2009, I think it says. Your body, he told me to work out, prepare for the freak offs. How did you feel about his comments? It varied. What did Sean pay for? Cars. Did he give you cash? Yes, but he would take things away. Depends on how he felt. What else could be taken away? My self confidence. Who would take things away? Or, yeah, it says staff.
Mm,
I assume staff. Objection. Jury
objection.
will disregard that last statement. Who took your laptop and phone? Security. How long would they be gone for? However long I was being punished for. How often were you in contact with Sean's staff? Daily. Who are in these photos? Christine Coram and Miss Fletcher. What did you call Miss uh, Coram? KK. And who's this? D Rock. He was Sean's security. How frequently were you in Sean's residences? All the time. Did they all have safes? Yes. What did you observe in them? Cash, jewelry, cameras, and videotapes, guns in LA, in New York and LA, Miami, and Alpine, New Jersey. Do you recall an incident between Sean and Suge Knight? Yes, we were having a freak off in LA. D Rock came in and said Suge was down at the diner. Sean drove down there. What was your reaction? I cried and I told him, I said, don't do something stupid. Were you ever handed a gun? Yes, we were doing a club downtown LA. We'd taken mushrooms. I was high. I tried to put the gun in my bag. I was freaking out. Who was present? A driver, security, and Sean. Another time I saw them get dressed and grab guns and leave on an SUV. How long were they gone? 30 to 40 minutes. Let's switch topics now. How soon into the relationship did Sean mention voyeurism to you? First 6 months or a year. How old were you? 22. Why did you agree to try the freak offs? Good question. I wanted to make him happy. Where was the first freak off? One of his homes in LA. 2A627. Who is this? So it's presenting an exhibit. The
Mm.
last escort.
The
Do
first
you know
escort.
his name? No. I'll call him the first escort. Oh, so it's the first escort. Were you aware he was paid? Yes. To dance and to have intercourse with me. What drugs did you take? Ecstasy and alcohol. Um, before things started. Did you disguise your appearance? Sean said we would disguise ourselves. I wore a masquerade mask. What was a session in a freak off? That was until the escort finished. How many sessions with the first escort? At least two. How did you feel? I was high, so I didn't feel much. Uh, Dirty and confused, and that he was happy with me. Why did you feel you couldn't say no? I didn't want to make him angry or upset after he'd shaved his head, or after he'd what shared his past of
No,
himself with me. Sorry.
no worries.
Uh, how frequent did the freak offs become? Weekly for a consistent amount of years. When was your last one? 2017, 2018. How long were you awake during the freak offs? I never slept. I took drugs, ecstasy, and Molly and cocaine. Do you recall all of the freak offs? That would be impossible. Did you want to stop? Yes, I was humiliated. I didn't have the words then. I couldn't talk to anyone about it.
Sobs.
Sobs. Did you tell him? Did you tell him you didn't want to? Yes. I brought it up gently. I didn't want him to just do it with someone else. Were you able to express your concerns to him? Objection, leading, rephrase. Why would you talk to him gently? I didn't want him to be angry. What is this? Um, that word's blurry. It says what? Oh, an email. An
Email.
email between me and Sean. What did you call him? Pop Pop. Why? He asked me that what I called my grandfather. I did it, but now I think it was disrespectful. What did you write? I really need to fuck. Why did you write that? Because I wanted to be with him. I'll read your message, you read yours. You don't want to do this anymore? I'm so predictable, she says. What did you think this meant? That he knew I didn't want to do the freak offs anymore, but then I backpedaled. Why? Just to not make him angry, he would be violent. Where did you get your outfits? Pleasure chest elsewhere. Did you get piercings? Yes, Sean came with me. Which of his homes did you have freakouts in? Miami, New York. What other homes? My homes all but Studio City. In what cities? Other cities? Atlanta, Ibiza. In what hotels in New York did you have freakouts? The Trump, the Gramercy, the Intercontinental. Yes. Elsewhere, Mandarin Hotel, Fountain Blue. What names were used? Jackie Star. I used Frank Black, or he used Frank Black. What supplies? For freak offs, Astroglides, baby oil, condoms. Who brought the supplies? Security, Sean's assistants. Which brand of baby oil? Johnson's. How was it used? Sean said you need to be glistening. Were there freak offs where you ran out of baby oil? You also mentioned Astroglide, and then it says
Irrelevant. Yeah.
objection.
Irrelevant objections. Yeah.
We were just talking about Astroglide. How was it used? Lubricant. If you ran out, what? Um, then it says we'd call we'd call either staff or the bell desk, giving them a tip. What's the freak offs? Or were the freak offs? What does it say?
Lit.
Sorry, it's
Lit.
like lit. Were the
Yeah.
freak offs lit? Initially, it was candle, strong smelling Glade. Any other use of candles? Candle wax? Yeah, a few times it was poured on my body. Who set the temperature of the room? Sean. I was expected to do freak offs on my period. Did you want to do that? No. So, um, oh, object. Did you want to be urinated on? Objection.
Objection.
Grounds.
Asked and
Abused
answered.
or asked and answered. Overruled. No, I did not want to. How did it feel? It was disgusting. It was too much. I checked. No one could think of what I choked. No one could think I wanted it. Why were you choking? Too much urine in my mouth. Who also urinated on you? Sean. Did you want Sean to urinate on you? I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. How often did it happen? Often enough. Which hotel charged the most for damage to let the room? For the damage to the room, the Intercontinental in New York. They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Back to the urination, Mr. Johnson. Only a few questions. Why do you? I was obviously I didn't want to be on the ground hearing. Sorry, it's just like it got
No,
blurrier
you're
for some
fine.
reason. I think it's my connection. Being you didn't want to be urinated by two men. When did you find escorts? Initially on Craigslist. Okay, I'll break
No
here.
break. Yeah. Continue. Ready?
Okay, ready. I think my connection is just like I can barely read it because it's like super blurred, but I think it's just my connection. Let me try and get off the Wi-Fi and get back on.
All right. I'll
And
continue
see if that
reading.
works. Yeah. Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
continue reading. All right. Miss Ventura, in what cities did you respond to ads on Craigslist? In New York, did you respond to ads on Backpage as well? Yes. Johnson, sorry, who directed you to communicate with escorts? Objection. Who, if anyone, same objection, assumes fact knowing evidence. Did you ever reach out to escort independently? No. Did you ever not use an escort who arrived? One couldn't perform, so Sean sent him on. What was a safe escort? Not a cop and someone who would not run and tell everyone about their experience with us. Why not a cop? I learned this whole situation was not legal. Objection. Jury. Which got the answer. How did Cash get there? Security or he brought it himself? The are you back now?
Yeah.
Can you can
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you? All right,
Yeah.
continue.
The escort, Dave, do you know his real name? Clayton Howard. Who is this? Photo shown uh photo shown to it's weird, it'll blur up. Photo
All
shown
right.
to witness. Okay, Daniel, what service did you use? A dancer service. Do you recognize Jules? Yes. In what cities did you have freak offs with Jules? New York, LA, Vegas. Do you know his last name? No. Who else? Or who's this? I knew him as the Punisher. Did you use drugs at every freak off? Yes. I need to dissociate and become emotionless. Who else used drugs at freak offs? Sean did, sometimes the escort. What other drugs did you use? Special K, GHB, mushrooms. I'll read Sean's parts of this emails, you read yours. When should I take the things? When will you be there? Pausing you there. What did you mean? Drugs? Sean, I took mine. I'm flying. What does he mean? That he's high. Why did you take more drugs? To not be present with the experience. Why? Because it was something that I hated. How did you react to ecstasy and MDMA? It would make me vomit. What would he say? Um, what would he say?
To
To
continue.
continue.
Yeah.
Did you want to continue to have intercourse when you wanted to vomit? No. How does GHB make you feel? Tipsy. Cocaine? It makes my heart race. I'm not a huge fan. Mushrooms? Um, the walls come off. The walls. Sorry, it like blurs and then unblurs. The
Oh,
walls come.
sorry, that's my
It's
bad.
at the end. It's okay.
Hold on. I don't know what's happened. Okay. My sorry guys, just having a little bit of technicals. We're gonna get back. We're gonna get back at it. Um.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is now glitching too. It was like
Okay.
literally freezing up. It was
Yeah.
like filming this.
I need to change browsers to be honest. Something is wrong with my Opera.
But I'm only gonna be able to run for about 15, 20 more minutes.
No, no, you're
So
fine. You're
whatever we
fine.
can get through.
Yeah. Like let me just try and get it back up. Sorry, guys. Bear with me 1 second. Just uh, my browser's playing out with me.
But
Oh,
yeah, it's been compelling, like what you said, that it contradicted some of the evidence that the escort initially. One of the things that the escort initially testified to, there's been some contradictions from his testimony and hers
yeah.
already.
Hold up. Let me try and get it back up again. Sorry, guys. Let me just.
Oh, it says the walls come alive. It unblurred over on my side now.
Oh, hold on. Bear with me, guys. Why is this on my end? All right. Let me try and. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, 1 second. Just getting it up. Is this still showing on your screen? Hello.
It's yeah, it's still frozen on my screen,
All right.
but at least it's not blurry. Before it was like all glitched out, but I think that was my connection,
Okay.
or it could have been your connection. I don't know.
No, no, it's on my end. I have no idea. I need to use Google Chrome. I have no idea what's happening with mine. Where were we? Okay,
Oh, the walls come alive
the walls
after
come
she
up.
said that the mushrooms.
The thing is, my old system has just completely gone off. So I haven't. I wasn't able to get the. I'm not able to get. Uh, yeah, I don't know what's happened. 1 second. Let me try and get the history up. Oh, the joys of streaming, eh?
Yeah, technical glitches. It
Yeah.
happens. It happens. It's the universe saying no more testimony. But I mean, rereading it is actually quite compelling because, especially because I have the cross exam so fresh in my mind. So reading the redirect, I see a lot of like the little holes and inconsistencies that later come up.
Yeah. Uh
Where she says she didn't want to take the drugs and stuff, and but she did because she wanted to disassociate. But then she says that she took the drugs kind of recreationally and other times when she was with her friends and stuff. So it wasn't that she was necessarily taking drugs for that if she was taking them during other times.
Absolutely. Uh okay. We are soon gonna get to the cross examination because that's where a lot of me comes out in all this. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
get the let me just get the right the right uh update up. I don't know. Yeah, last time I am using Opera. This browser just failed on me for no reason. Okay. So Cassie's still on direct. Was that the team that we were on?
Yeah, we were on after she takes the mushrooms, May 13th. Yeah.
May 13th. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. I know where we are now. Thanks for sorry about that, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for bearing with me here. Okay. Okay. Let's continue. Do you see it?
Hmm.
All right. Hey, look, there's Kurt.
Yeah, there is Kurtz. Shout out to Kurtz. I just did her something with her earlier today that should be up tonight.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. While I'm trying to get this up again. Make sure you follow CJ on her channel. She brings a lot of updates in regards to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni case. I have left our YouTube in the description below. So yeah, if you want updates in regards to those cases, she is the perfect one to follow. Make sure you do that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start getting into other celebrity court cases. I know that I did like my last two episodes on YouTube were the Baldoni Lively, but also just more insights on Diddy, and then I'm really intrigued by all these Kanye stuff that's coming out with him suing his dentist, and then he's got
Yeah.
some civil lawsuits against him, and then he's got the family court drama with Kim, um, which is crazy because I just found out that he the letter, the cease and desist letter that he sent, it was like lawyer from Spain, but then like her phone was disconnected, and then when someone like looked up the phone number, looked up the name, it was like a travel agency or something. So I thought that was like crazy. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
like juicy, like gossipy things going on in the court world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try
Yeah.
and cover that too.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay. We are now back. So
Okay.
if you're enjoying if you're enjoying the stream so far, make sure you hit the like button as well. So we were on The Walls Come Alive before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So it
yeah, let's
says
continue reading. Sorry. Yeah,
okay, it says
continue.
you may continue. When drugs ran out, how did you know how or who did you know how did you know who to reach out to? Sean would tell me. During the session, how would you know to move to the next step? Sean. What would happen after the escort finished on you? Sean would want it put on his body in the next room. Did you do that? I did. Where? Usually on his nipples. Did you want to do that? No. Yeah, it was just too much info for me. It's like they didn't have to be like super graphic. Like it could have just been like, oh, it was sexual acts. Like they didn't. That's what I felt. I felt like that was off putting. But
Yeah,
um,
might as well
how
be a
did
bit.
you feel? How did you feel? I was an object being heavily objectified by men. Sometimes he would watch by FaceTime. Were some sessions recorded on your devices because they were there? If you saw them, if you saw them on your device, what would you do? I would delete them. Why? They were disgusting. I never wanted anyone to see them. When Sean's devices were Sean's devices used sometimes? Yes. I asked him to delete them. Did he? I don't know. Did you ever leave? What I thought was weird about that, where she's like, is that she still kept. She said she deleted them, but then the state got her devices, and I believe that there was videos on those devices that they recovered. But I thought she said she deleted them. So
No.
why would she still have devices with videos on them? So that's what I'm wondering. But I don't know if it specified that there was videos of that or if it was videos of something else. But either way, it just seems weird that she would keep all that stuff if she was deleting this type of stuff. Okay. Did you ever leave a freak off before it was over? Yes, at the at the Century City Intercontinental. But did you see that earlier she testified that it was after the freak off? And then
Mm,
now she says it was before it was over. So was that just like a loose play on words or what? Because up above, we just read that she said it was after the freak off.
right.
I finally had a premiere coming up and I didn't want to mess it up. But Sean hit me. At what point did Sean hit you? Between sessions. So yeah, maybe it was after the first freak off and that's what she meant.
Mm,
What happened next? I got to the elevator. Next thing I know, I was thrown to the ground. Who threw you down? Sean. He grabbed me by my neck and my hoodie. Let me show you the video. And so they play the video again. Uh, what are you doing? Trying to use the hotel phone. What is Sean doing? Taking my phone and my bag. Um,
okay, so that the day was concluded there.
mhm.
I think we're now gonna go into the May 14. Uh, continue. I think this is okay. They're just doing preliminaries. Okay, so continue. It's a yeah. May I approach the
Mhm.
witness? Yeah. Miss
Yes, you
Ventura.
may. Miss Ventura, I
Yeah.
just handed you two drives. What is on them? Messages and photos from my devices. Which that's another thing that the jurors are going to be like, why was all this kept? Like, were you thinking of eventually, like, turning it in for just like, what was it?
Mm,
I think later she testified she didn't want to take it to the Apple store because she was afraid. So that's why she kept it. But still, she could have deleted it off the device unless, I don't know. It's that to me was also like a Roman Empire there.
Mm.
Yesterday you testified about Sean going
Armed. To
armed.
look.
Oh yeah, to look for Suge Knight. Sean took guns with him, and he told you to ask the escorts if they were cops. I would and I would start by saying I was not a cop. Sean told you to do that. Yes. What happened when you fought back? I did that more earlier in the relationship. It would make him more violent, want to push me harder. Objection to the
Speculation overruled.
yes, yeah, overruled. How would Sean how would he react if you fought back? Anger. I'm going to show you the LA Intercontinental hallway again. Play it from 143 to 148. Who enters? Sean. What's in his hand? He doesn't appear to have anything. Now play it from 150. Anything in his hand? My phone. How did he get it? Well, he took all my stuff. Where does he end up? Sitting on a chair in front of the window. What are you doing? I'm walking away from him. Now who's in the video? Me and security. In this one, play from where did you go from the hotel to my house? I took an Uber. But see, I thought that earlier or later in the testimony, she says it was his driver or something, but maybe that was just what I had read from her civil lawsuit. I thought it was like his driver takes her, but maybe it was an Uber. Now let's turn to text messages. Can you read page 4? Uh, please call. I'm surrounded. Who wrote that? From Sean. He was running around in a towel. I told him to put the robe on. Who sent these green messages? I did. I wrote to Sean. Jules left. As long as you're quick, you can stay. Peace. Who was Jules? So was that when she was in the room? See, it's just weird because there's not enough transparency where we
Mm.
don't get cameras in the courtroom. We
Yeah.
don't get the
I need it.
transcripts.
Yeah.
Some people have paid for the transcripts, but the only one that I've seen is they read it aloud and you can't like actually read it for yourself. Like there's no PDF.
Mm.
Um, so that's like what's interesting because um like, so what, did she go in the room and say, "Come back into the room with me" before she left after he had beat her? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's hard when you're reading it like out of context a little bit. Okay, so it
Right.
says, "Who was Jules, the escort?" It says, "Is this Jules?" And then she smiles really big. Yes. Um, she's showing some exhibits side by side. That's me, a selfie of me with a fat lip. When did you get this? Um in the Uber with one of my phones. What did you write here? I said, "Please stay away from me." And what does he say? He says, "I'm getting arrested." Was he? I don't think so. What did you write back? Plugging my phone in and going to bed. Who was at your home when you got there? Carrie Morgan. She was upset when she saw me. She called the police. Did you speak with them? Yes, but I didn't say who I was talking about, and they left. Which I'm like, did they submit that into evidence? Is there a police report that they got that was submitted into evidence that she did say something to the police? I wonder.
Yeah.
'Cause it doesn't
And
say it here.
mm, and this is Kerry Morgan. This is Kerry Morgan that was with her, who
Yeah,
was
her
the
friend
escort.
obviously called the police and then she just didn't want
Yeah.
to say who it was. So this
Mm.
is Carrie Morgan.
Yeah. Continue.
Um, why didn't you say I wasn't ready? Did
Mm.
Sean try to come to your apartment? Yes, he was banging. That was pretty normal from him, but this is pretty private building. Did you hear from Miss Coram that day? Yes, and I went to see D Rock and his wife to try to feel safe. In this photo, what are you meaning? Or what are you wearing? A gown and sunglasses. I had a black eye. What if any other bruising was visible? I had several bruises on my legs, but I changed clothes. What's this? Me and Sean at the after party. I'm going to show you escorts. Do you know the name of this person? No. In what cities did you use him? New York. Who's this? He was in or Islander. He was on Latin Men. We used him in LA and maybe Vegas. Who's this? 24616. We called him Tommy. Who's this? I know him as Greg, an escort in Miami. Who's this? Jonathan. We saw him in Miami. Who's this? Red baseball cap backwards. I don't know. He looks familiar from the freak offs. What did you write here? Uh, this is all we do. I'm just getting back on track. I'm sure you can call Kim or something. What did you mean by this is all we do? The freak offs. Did you try to avoid anything in the freak offs? I tried to avoid kissing, it seemed too intimate, but Sean told me to do it, to kiss the escorts. What did Sean ask you to do on your 29th birthday? A freak off. He had me uh, pulled out of the blind dragon for the freak off with some security. What about the blackmail material? He sh- uh, he warned me. Is that what it says? He warned me to fear. Objection
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
overruled.
World, yeah.
When would Sean um,
Mention the fake of
mention the
videos.
freak off videos to
Yeah.
hurt me? Or yeah, to hurt me. One time I was dating someone else and he threatened to release the leaked videos of me. I'd have to answer to my mother. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone. What did Sean say?
The impact would be. You there? You there? Okay, I think we lost her. Let me go back. I think we lost her. Okay, I will continue reading. What did Sean say the impact would be? Shame. Let me show you a chat who is on it. Me and Sean, July 22nd, 2013. Read your message. I wrote, please delete the videos off your phone. Too many people have access to your devices. He said, no iCloud. All good, ambient kicking in. They have a sidebar and they're back in the call room. Let me just, okay.
Yeah, because I don't think by the time we get to cross examination, it's probably gonna be probably another hour, huh?
No, no. This one is nearly done for the day. Are you back now?
Yeah, yeah. I'm back. But I'm just saying I don't know how much longer I can stream because I thought we were gonna just go through five. I could probably
Okay.
stay through maybe 5:30, but after that I'm gonna have to.
No worries. No, no worries. No worries.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go after because I can't stay any
No, no,
longer
no.
than that if it runs
No
longer.
worries.
Okay.
No, no worries. Feel free.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We were driving. Oh, wait, here. I've been told there was a sexually explicit video out there about me. I've reached out to Sean. Then what? We were driving back to NYC from Atlantic City to ask, to talk to this DJ, and then it says Woo Woo Kid.
Yeah.
Did that happen at a restaurant? What was the security's role? To intimidate? They were lining the room. Who was there? Uncle Paulie?
Uncle
James
Paulie, James
Cruz.
Cruz. Yeah.
How would you recover from a freak off? I'd take opiates. I wanted to feel numb. We'd get massages, IV. The chef would cook us something. How often did you take opiates after freak offs? Often. I got urinary tract infections. Um,
Were the UTIs
where
painful?
was it? Yeah, very. And sorry, it's blurry right there. And what's that? Anti what?
Antibacterials didn't
Oh,
work anymore.
antibacterials didn't work
Okay.
anymore. How did it feel during freak offs? Burning. I would not advise it. Let's read this out loud. Uh, there are sore on my tongues. I have another UTI. What sores? Infections in my or frictions in my mouth. From what? Oral sex. You said another UTI, then said face emoji. I was open with him about them. So you feel sick? Why are you sorry? I took the blames for things.
Mm.
With which escort would go to see the clubs with you and Sean? Jules, the escort from the Intercontinental in LA? Yes. Did you want to have sex with Jules ever? No, but I knew him. Why did you do it? Sean. And that was another thing is that she would hang out with the escorts on her own outside, it seemed to imply. Or
Yeah.
like she would meet up with them outside of it. So that to me was like it doesn't go with like the sex trafficking was forced if she was meeting with these people outside of it. Who was present when Sean put his hands on you at freakouts? Sometimes the escorts were there too in the same room. Yes, Jules. And in the suite, yes. Were they aware? Objection overruled. Yes. The escorts would ask me if I was okay afterwards. In what cities did he put his hands on you? New York, LA, Miami. Too frequently.
How frequently?
Uh,
Too frequently.
Yeah,
Oh.
too frequently. What's the Abbey? A gay club in LA. I went there with my friend. Where were you going? To a music festival in Canada run by Drake. Sean came to my home and tried to attack me. I was thrown onto the bed frame. What's this? A photo of my eye afterwards. Who took you to the doctor? D Rock. Did you send this photo to Sean? Yes. And I wrote, so that you can remember
I wanted
all
him to
at
be
least.
sorry. I wanted him to be sorry about it at least. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In this photo, where were you? In the green room in Toronto. I put my hair over my eye and then we went to the um
Hamptons.
Hamptons.
Yeah.
Sean wanted to have a freak off in the Hamptons. We got a hotel and an escort. Which one? Dave.
I took
Out.
GHB.
Yeah, I took GHB and went into the G hole and blacked out. I woke up nude in the shower. Dave and Sean were freaking out. I bugged out. It was not pretty. Then what? I spoke to a friend of Sean's and then we had a freak off. What's this? My eyes, my
Yeah.
eye, my
My
eyebrow.
eyebrow healed up a bit.
Um, yeah, healed up a bit. A little later, I had a permanent scar on my eyebrow. What's this? Me at the cons festival. What happened at cons? Sean accused me of taking drugs from his uh boat. He threw me off, but my passport was still on the boat. And you were on the red carpet that same night? Yes. Did you attend the movie? Yes. How did you get back to New York? But okay, so this is where she shows him the video. On a commercial
Yeah.
flight, I traded my seat to get away, but he traded to get next to me. What did he show you? Freak off videos. He played them for me on one of his laptops. He said he'd um, release them.
Mm.
How did you feel? Trapped. When you landed in New York, what did you do? We went to dinner, then he wanted to have a freak off, so we had a freak off. Why did you do it? To make him not threaten me.
Yeah, and so far, I think so far, what the videos, what her testimony is showing, it does show that that she lacked agency, and they would, and you can argue an element of of coercion in this as well. But sorry, continue.
Um, yeah,
Let's
but
read.
she was she saying that she was doing them now here at the counts because of she showed him the video. Okay, let's see. Let's
Yeah.
read this from June 13th. I had Sean has Sean been violent with you then? Yes. I had told him before I didn't want to do freak offs. Yes. You said you needed GHB. Yes, and that two escorts are not available. I wrote only Paul's available or take the white guy, but he can't do it until 11. The other white guy can do it earlier. It's just one more person knowing our secret. What did you mean? The freak offs. What is SLS, a hotel in Hollywood? When would you take Valium before a freak off? When I had anxiety. He was the one, Sean's driver was the one bringing the Valium. It was Raheem, I think. Um,
Okay. Lunch break.
Jurors, you can take lunch.
Okay. Continue. You're entering. Yeah. Continue. Okay.
I
I have
have
a
a
binder.
binder for the court. The gallery will not be able to see these exhibits. And that's another thing. It's like no one, the public isn't, we're not as informed as the jurors are. So they have way more information than we do.
Right.
Um, Miss Ventura, I will show you some exhibits. Who is it? She worked for Sean. We will call her Mia. When you gave her devices to the government, were they working? No, they were broken. So then her devices were broken, so maybe that's why she couldn't delete it. Put up 602A for Miss Ventura and the jury only. What's on your skin? Oil. When did Sean first hurt you physically? It started in the first year. What staffer was present when Sean was physical with you? Objection. Physical is vague. Punching and hitting. When did Sean first use violence on you? In New York City, we were in a car with security and he knocked me around. What did he do? He hit me on the side of the head and I fell to the floor of his Escalade. In January 2009, did you attend an event in LA with Sean? Yes. What happened as you left? I'd been speaking to a producer about music. Sean called me a slut. I hit him in the face. I had been drinking. Did you see any injuries? No. I was on the floor of the car and he stomped me on my face. How long did this last? 10 minutes. Then I tried to get away, but Sean's security brought me back. Who? Roger, I don't know, is it Bonds?
Roger Bonds. Bonds.
What did they text me? To go
What
to
did,
a hotel. They snuck me into the hotel, covered me up so no one could see my face. How long were you at the hotel? A week, a little more. An assistant brought me ice cream. What was the assistant's name? Genevieve. Did you feel you could leave the London hotel? No, I understood his capability, his access to guns, he the threats he made. But see, then later she says she does leave to go to Connecticut with her mom at one point after she gets beat. And then there's another time where she says she leaves and goes to Kid Cudi's house after. So it's like, does she have agency to leave because she's left before? Or is it like it doesn't make sense how on some occasions she was able
Mm.
to and then on some she wasn't. When you were taken to the hotel after the assault, were you then taken? No. Did you know that this assault incident was reported? I know there was a blind item on the internet without our names. Who raised the blind item to you? My mother. Objection. This is not for the truth. Overruled. This was before FaceTime was very popular, so I could hide myself. She asked if it was me. And what did you say? No, I didn't want my mother to know something of that magnitude, and she'd then be in danger. When you went to a party with your girlfriend, then I heard that, or when you went to a party with your girlfriend, what happened? I saw executives from BT. Then I heard that Sean was there. What did you do? I left. I ran out as fast as I could. Why? I thought he was angry. Okay. Did he come to the hotel where you were staying? Um, yeah, he beat me up and called me names. My face was bruised. This photo, who's in it? Scott McCooty, known as Kid Cudi. I dated him in 2011. Did Sean find out? Yes, in my phone. Sean went through my phone during a freak out. He found an email. So that's what I'm wondering. Was that the freak off? I have to slew that timeline, maybe, because was that the freak off where the Intercontinental Hotel freak off, and that's why he wanted
Yeah,
a phone? Did he catch her on the phone with Kid Cudi?
I think the
Or is that a different time?
I think the Intercontinental was 2016. So this is
Oh,
2012, I
this
think.
is
Yeah.
after.
No, before
This is
before.
Oh, was she dating Kid Cudi? Okay.
Yeah.
Taking my toiletry back to Scott's the next day, Sean put a wine opener in his hand and threatened me. I called Scott on a burner phone, which is another thing that I felt was against her testimony was the fact that she had access to a burner phone. So she had another phone that she was using. So she, like normally, like you brought up R. Kelly and the Rico stuff
Yeah.
there, where he would take their phones, not let them talk to
Right.
their families, all
Right.
this
Right.
stuff. It was all like clear cut imprisonment, where this
Yeah.
isn't as clear cut because now she has a burner phone.
Yeah.
Where did you go? To Scott's house. Um, then I w- then I talked with Capricorn Clark, one of Sean's assistants. Then what? I went to the house Sean was staying at. He said he would release videos and hurt Scott as well. What videos? The freak off videos of me. Sean he
Sean
kicked me in
kicked
the
me in the back.
back. I got
Yeah.
a bruise. Where'd you go? To my hotel with the burner phone. The room was torn up. He had peed all over the floor, or someone peed all over the floor, pooped in the toilet and didn't flush it. It was gross. This was just before Christmas. I sent an email to my mom in Capricorn um
Flight to Boston.
for my flight to Boston and Connecticut. What
Mm.
did you write? That Sean said he would release the tape of me on Christmas and he'd have Scott and I heard he said he would be out of the country then. What are these photographs? My mother took them in Connecticut of the bruises on my back. Were you entirely honest with your mother about the abuse? No, I just told her it was the first time. Did you tell her about the freak offs? No. Is it
Okay.
possible to take a
Good.
break? But I am gonna have to head out here.
Okay.
I do appreciate it though, having
I
the
know.
time.
Thanks
I
for
wish
coming
we could
on.
have gone through them faster.
Yeah. No. No. Thanks for coming on. It was my fault for the technical difficulty earlier. Where my brother messed up, but um, I got it back now. But yeah. But no. But I appreciate you
You don't
joining.
have another. You don't have another reader, but yeah, definitely compelling to read through it'll definitely be compelling to read through the cross. But I've already pointed out a bunch of inconsistencies as we're reading
Yeah.
that kind of don't add up. But yeah, I'll be here next Sunday for sure
Yeah.
to
Okay.
continue.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll see you next Sunday. Things will be a lot faster. Like I'll be using a different browser this time around,
Yeah,
so
because
it
then it
wouldn't
was
be.
glitching
Yeah,
on my end, but now I'm like, was it just glitching on your end, and that's
yeah,
why I couldn't see it? Maybe that's what it was.
yeah.
But because I was
No
like, no,
worries.
mine's glitching.
No worries. Have a good day.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. You
All right.
too. Take
Thanks
care.
for joining.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. So, bye bye. So back to the testimony. Um, I'll be reading. Okay. Okay. Just a bit. Okay. Where did you go after Connecticut? I went to see Sean. He was in Arizona. College. His son college. I told my mother I was going to LA for work. Did Sean talk about Scott's car? Sean said he wanted Scott's friends to see Scott's car blown up. What happened next? We met Sean, Scott, and me. Scott said, "What about my vehicle?" Sean said, "What vehicle?" And that was the end of the meeting. Put up the photo. What is this? Me and Sean in Kingston, Jamaica for Sound Clash. Were you bruised? Yes. And and this photo, what is it? Me and Sean's in Sean's bathroom, September 18, 2015. What were you doing there? Recuperating from being beaten up by Sean in Las Vegas. We were having an after party in our suite. I talked to a producer, and Sean tapped me on the shoulder, called me into our room, and beat me, kicked me as I tried to hide behind the toilet. What stopped it? D Rock and James Cruz came in. It was the it was it made D Rock sad. What are these communications from D Rock to me? He says, "Where you at? It's time to ice your face." Why? I just been beaten up by Sean. Um, were these all the times he beat you? No, there were more. With who else did you see Sean be violent? I saw him drag an assistant out of bed. I saw him punch Eli in his head. One time in Turks and Caicos, he dragged a person. I believe we had a freak off in Turks and Caicos. What floor did you live on in 87 Comstock? 17th floor. Did a friend stay with you? Yes. Sean came and held her and threw her phone on the patio furniture out on the balcony. I saw Sean bring her back in from over the balcony, then threw her on the patio furniture. And Kerry Morgan, I saw Sean hit her on the head. Did you get drugs on your own? Occasional drug dealers, opiates, Xanax, Valium. Sean will put the pills in vitamin C bottle on the sink in the New York apartment. He would say you can take him. He had doctors who would write the scripts in the name of an assistant in or in my name. As your brother's birthday party in Connecticut in 2013, what happened? My mother told me someone was taking pictures of me. I went and punched her in the head. You testified your relationship with Sean ended in 2018. How was your health? I was sleepwalking. I had PTSD. Overruled objection. Was this a photo of my front door in 2018? Published it to the jury. Why is there a knife there? Sean was coming around a lot, so I had it. August 2018. What happened? We were having a closure conversation at a restaurant in Malibu. He was trying to convince me to go to Burning Man. Were you seeing um were you seeing any more? My now husband. What happened next? Sean came to my house and raped me on my living room floor. His eyes were black. It was like something. It was like taking something from you. You cried. What did Sean do? He continued and finished inside me. Then he got up and left. Did you ever have sex with him again? Yes, voluntarily. We had a good night. I went back to his house. Can you explain why you did that after he raped you? We have been together 10 years. Who did you stay in touch with? Most people, though I pulled away. What did sh- what did you message Sean about that? Just checking in. What did he send to you? That he had iPads full of images. Get him his money. Money for what? For having paid my now husband to be my trainer. What did you write back? Do do you want me to tell you the truth? It it it's much deeper than iPads. There was abuse more than free cuffs. There was a time I couldn't take the pain, try to walk out in traffic. My husband wouldn't let me. I had therapy. Did you write a book? A book with chapters? My mom helped me. What did you want with the book that Sean read it? What pain did Sean put you through? Shame. To carry the things that were shameful for him, I took on a lot of responsibility for that. I never should have. He brought the concept to me when I was 22. It was expected of me. I felt terrible. What they're putting on here is more to do with a pattern of abuse. How his violence towards her had made her stay and do all these free cuffs. They're also trying to show here that with those violence, it basically enabled her to. They're trying to get ahead of the fact that she initiated some of these free cuffs. But the problem with that is the personal abuse is not really like it can be relevant for a case that they're trying to show sex trafficking via coercion. They can say that because of the fact that she went through XYZ, because of this she couldn't leave. Like that's how Sean was exerting his control over her. But it's more strong is stronger in a domestic violence case. Is more stronger there than in sex trafficking, because in my opinion, if you're doing that when you're being trafficked, when you're being trafficked, I personally think, based on the law, it doesn't. I don't think this angle supports their case too well, because if Sean is shown not to have any control whatsoever, the case falls apart. And even with the pattern of control established, even with the pattern of abuse, that wouldn't matter, because if she was not in, if Sean at one point was not in control, then it becomes a bit harder to prove what they're trying to put on. Anyway, moving on. He says, how did you get chapters to Sean? Through my attorney. And I reached out to KK. I asked her if he read it. She said it was not taken seriously. How much did you ask for the book? 30 million. Did you sue? November 2023. What happened with the lawsuit? It was settled for 20 million in 24 hours. Why are you testifying in this trial? I can't carry this anymore. What's wrong is wrong. I try people like they were. I think I'm gonna say I treated people like they were disposable, escorts, anybody. How many free cups did you have with Sean? Impossible to know. Hundreds. After you broke up with Sean, did you ever do a free cup? No. No further questions. Okay, going back. Okay, with the jury out. Now comes the cross examination. Hold on. I think I think that's the day done. So we're uh gonna go into day 15, which is the cross examination of Cassie. Uh, make sure you hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far, and don't forget to share it. To share the stream so that others can find you. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat also. Right, Miss Ventura, you love Combs, correct? I did. For 11 years, you took care of him in some ways. You called him larger than life. I did. Others called him Diddy or Puff Daddy, but you called him Sean, right? Yes. You knew a version of him that the rest of the world couldn't see, right? Overruled. In ways, you kept coming back to him for 11 years. I wouldn't say coming back. You believe he loved you too? I did believe he loved me too. So when he cheated on you, it hurt. Not every time. Bring up this events exhibit, not in evidence. This is not in evidence. Miss Ventura, read it to yourself. Why did you send this message? To let him know I was going to dinner. What was going on with when these messages were sent? I'm not sure. What was going on in your relationship then? It was early. We were loving. I offer it. Objection being offered for the truth. That's what we hear say objection. Overruled. Please read. I wrote, I love you, smiley face. I fly anywhere for you. I love you, Cass. This 2009 email. I don't know what. I would love to know what date that message is from. I would love to know. Because, so this is from 2019 email. Hearsay was objected. Uh, Okay, probably asked for foundation. From back from Blackberry, what is BG? Baby girl. What did you write? You hungry pop up? And Mr. Combs wrote to you. We are so in love. We don't do anything else. How long had you been seeing each other's? Like two and a half years. Please read this. 1364. I have talked to you at all. You don't even try. You rush me off the phone. I'm really hurt. I don't need your money. I need some attention. You wanted some special time with Mr. Combs? Yes. You testified that you told him, I love you so much, so make me a better woman. I definitely wrote those messages. You wrote, I can't wait until we have a baby of our own. You you knew that he had six children at a time. Yes. So now these messages about freak off. When you say you know it doesn't matter to me, you mean weekend or weekday. Either is fine. That's what he says. Mr. Combs says maybe we can call Jules. Can you do it? Yes. So right there, you can see her. You can see them present the evidence that before he will get Jules, that he will ask for a permission. This isn't, to me, this kind of puts a dent in the prosecution case, because if he's asking for her permission, sometimes with the way that they're painting in the opening statement, we went through that with what they're painting from. This is a massive dent, because how is this trafficking if if she had a choice to engage? But I'm not gonna lie. In on direct, we remember that they painted Mr. Combs to be a violent man. So you can argue that she said yes because in our mind, he would flip out. He would flip out if she didn't say yes to it. So they're trying to show, in my opinion, that she made decisions under duress, which is also coercion. But um we shall see how it plays out. This was an explicit message from you about the anticipated upcoming freak off. Objection to call and recess. Okay, Ms. Ventura, this is from Mr. Combs to you. You respond with an extremely explicit message, right? Yes. This is 2 days after planning of a freak off, right? Yes. He said, I want to see you. How did you reply? I can't wait either. You wrote, I feel like I want to F, right? That's what he says. Mr. Combs, I'm so horny, I can't concentrate. What do you say? That I'll go to Duane Reed for candles and then set up the room. Did you understand that he was going to take another video of you? Objection, speculation. You move on. You ask, any pills on you? Yes. What pills were you taking then? Opiates. You deleted the videos on your devices, right? Yes. What did you write? That I need to feel this. This is my husband, the only one who will see the side of me. Were you afraid that Mr. Combs was only seeing you for sex in this way? That was a concern. You still were not public in your relationship with him, correct? Were free cuffs important? Integral to us. Who was at your 21st birthday party in Las Vegas? Britney Spears, Dallas Austin. How did you get them there? They came for Sean. You are very beautiful and charming. Thank you. It's true. Who is Tommy Mottola? A well-known producer. You are uh, an upcoming star. An up and coming star. Tommy Mottola, for reference, is also the one that Michael Jackson was speaking out a lot about when he was, having contract issues. So, um, but they're trying. But in my opinion, the defense is trying to use him here to say, because of Sean, he opened up a lot of connections that could have had her own business, our own enterprise, that she had opportunities to build it, and Sean was not using his power to stop her from advancing in the industry, which is very important for the RICO charge, because with the album deal that she had, uh that would basically make her an employee, and the fact that she was going around getting this escorts, that would play into the RICO part. But if it was actually being shown that she was being placed in, and her career, it was, they were trying to advance it, that puts it to bed. That puts the idea that she was, kind of a sex slave, or that puts that idea to bed. You are an up and coming star. I guess you could say that. After you signed with Bad Boy, things were still platonic. Yes, you had a rough performance. 106 and Park. It did not go well for me. How did he help you after that? We did a YouTube video. He said everybody makes mistakes. What was wrong? I couldn't hear myself. Let me try and get the 106 and Park video up. I think I got it here. Do I have it here? No. No, I do not. Okay. I do not have it up. I do not have it up. I got so many bookmarks, man. Gosh. I appreciate everyone for rocking with me. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat. But yeah, I want to see that rocking 106 Park video. For those interested, this is D Rock. Uh, or I mean, oh, there it is.
I know that I shouldn't have had you waiting at all. Think I'm gonna make that move now. Baby, tell me how you like it.
So the defense were trying to argue here that she was not having the best of performances, and they're also showing at the same time that she had opportunities in order to advance her career. She said, "What was wrong? I couldn't hear myself. You were dating Mr. Leslie. How much older than you was he? 10 years. Then you traveled to Miami with Mr. Coombs. The flyer of the event was just a cover to spend time with Mr. Coombs, right? That's true. So what they're trying to show is that she left Miss Ryan Leslie. She was cheating on him with P Diddy, and they're also showing here that the age gap that was brought out earlier, that this is not indicative of sex trafficking. Otherwise, Mr. Leslie would be guilty as well, and he should be on trial as well because he's 10 years older. So they're trying to put that idea to bed that the age gap cannot be used as a factor to show control, etc. Because that's what they were trying to show, which an age gap would be a factor in coercive control, which again, like like they said in opening statements, this is domestic violence that they're putting on a domestic violence case, and this case is not indicative of that. So they're showing that in cross. You had a tattoo of Mr. Leslie's initials on your body, right? Yes. How many tattoos did you have then? Of relevance or overall? But let's keep moving. The one on your arm, no regrets. All right, no regrets. Mr. Combs taught you how to do oral sex. He did. Look at this. Tell me when you're ready. Can you read it? You can read it. It's making me laugh. It's from 2007. You wrote, "I feel protected. You're sweet." You wrote, "I see that Kerry is better fitting for you. I'm hurt that you think I'm malicious. You're very important to me." Ex Cass. She loves. What were you trying to convey? It's like a journal entry. You discussed Kerry Morgan. Did you think Mr. Combs was attracted to her? There was a point in the very beginning. Did that complication carry on in your relationship? Not really. Carrie was just always with us. I would like to start asking about the free cuffs. Sometimes you wore a wig and a mask. Yes, the general public didn't know. Objection. That's probably to form. No one knew until 2023 in the public. Yes. Fair to say his career was ruined after your lawsuit. I could understand that. Let's read these messages. Mr. Combs wrote, when are you on your period? Not now. What were you thinking about when in your horny? Ms. Ventura, if you don't want to read the answers, I can read them. Thank you. The O's has a lot of O's after them, right? Yes. After a freak off, you make love to Mr. Combs, yes? Yes. Your period. Mr. Combs is asking you when you're on it, right? Yep. He's asking in the context of when to meet up and have sex. Looks like it. Sometimes you watch him with a female 2 or 3 times. Did you talk with Mr. Combs about the swingers lifestyle? That no one that no one talks about it. Were you keeping freak offs secret from your friends? Yes. His assistants help him with everything. You will remember if an assistant came in during one of your sessions with an escort? Not necessarily. I was high. So you don't remember much. I had my privacy invaded a lot during that relationship. This is from July 2012. You say to Mr. Combs, I'm horny and bored. This was after a freak off, right? There was a lot of texts here. Said to be 25 pages. Where would the defense exhibits ostensibly entered into evidence be available? I would ask that the witness be allowed to read the entire document. How many pages? 8. Who we don't have a copy for the witness. We'll show it on the screen, but not in the gallery. Okay. You said Mr. Combs often put you down, but he also sent you encouragement and called you queen, right? Yes. What about trigger? Mr. Combs incessantly calls to you. Anger, doubt where I was. If he subjected you, or if he suspected you of cheating, he will call you incessantly. That that was one of the reasons, because he fought, yeah, speculation, objection. Do you believe Mr. Combs has good taste? I think he does. He he has had an impact on fashion. People like his style, Sean John. Did you consult with him on your look? Did you consult with him on your look? Sometimes I got advice I didn't ask for. He still ran his companies even while having all these freak-offs, right? He did. What was he addicted to? Success. He lost. What substances? Opiates. Yes. He told me, and I saw it. The Mr. Combs' mood they depend on whether or not he was withdrawing from opiates. He was more irritable, I would say. What other drugs was Mr. Combs addicted to? Objection, no foundation. I will ask. Okay, rephrase. What was his drug of choice? Ecstasy or MDMA? Opiates daily. When he was doing them, you saw him withdraw. Yes. Okay, they're trying to paint um they're trying to paint Sean as he would do these acts mainly under the influence of drugs, and not really trying to get her to do free cuffs. That is violence. Again, they're saying of the pattern that is more domestic violence that he is guilty for, and not sex trafficking, because the violence they experienced was likely under the influence, and not trying to get her to do freak offs. That's what I think. Anyway, let's turn to GX411. It's not in evidence yet. So beef. Okay. So beef exhibits. You wrote, "I love our freak offs when we both want it." You felt that loving freak offs were just words at that point. Mr. Combs wrote to you, I want to freak out right now," and you wrote that you wanted to. Lol, me too. I texted more than that, but you did text him, but you did text that to him. Mr. Combs wrote to you, "Jules is available if you're into it." You could have said yes or no, and you said love you. There was no yes or no. Bring up B40 on page 2. Mr. Combs wrote, "Do I have your permission to set up freaky fun?" You wrote ovulation. Yes. Here. What do you say? Which hotel? I must have called him in between. I didn't want to assume anything. He said montage. You said you could also go to Pleasure Chest. What would you get there? Sexual supplies. What supplies? Lubricants, outfits. He says, have fun, impress me. You say, okay. He says, can we kiss a lot? What do you say? Yes. You wrote, I left the iPad. I don't know what those iPad. I'll, I'll start again. I don't know whose iPad this meant. Mr. Combs wrote, I I've be there right after my session. This was in June 2017. Do you remember arguments you were having at that time? Not specifically. Here you say the game starts at 10 p.m. No breaking character to 8 a.m. This was a game to a game of this was a game a friend of mine told me, a way to rekindle your romance by doing something different in the bedroom. It's a whole getting into character thing. Mr. Combs says, "Let's get some outfits and go to sex club." Mr. Combs wrote, "Surprise package coming from out of state. Why can't I reach you? What do you say?" I was getting my brows done. Did you come to know Mr. Combs was leaving to freak off to go seek him poor? Yes. How did you find out about Gina? How did you feel? Did it upset you? Yes. It prompted arguments? It did. And he thought you were not faithful. What were his reactions? It was scary. Mr. Combs wrote to you, let's do something different in NYC this weekend. FYI, Dave hit me. What does hit mean? Reached out. And Daniel contacted you. Did did this mean you might have a freak off? Might. He tells you you better put me on VIP vibrate alarm or something. He's frustrated you don't answer his texts fast enough. Right. You tell him to come to NYC, understanding they could be freak out. Maybe. You also saw the Book of Mormon. Yes. Mass pleasure. If that's sex club, I would assume. He he asks, "Are you ready for tonight?" What do you say? Yes. I just have to get some things. This is not about what I felt, right? Because you're skipping over a lot here. What did you write? As much as you think you're Basulis, you're not. Your kids were babies when we started dating. If you saw him on social media on vacation with, it was heartbreaking. It could be. I was 7 years in. So here they're showing communications between her and Combs to show that she was responding in a manner that doesn't show someone that was afraid that she was challenging him in some instances, which again they're trying to dent or put a dent in that coercion aspect to say no, even though she was being she had violence inflicted on her. She had more of an interest in having a relationship with her and not and this again this is more of domestic violence than sex trafficking. And what about this about Gina? You wrote, I don't want to be a side piece, but I'll treat you as a king. You wanted to be the main girlfriend in 2013, yes. You saw social media posts of Mr. Combs with other girlfriends and got angry, right? Can I speak? I was jealous of certain situations. Did there come a time he suspected you in a relationship with someone in the industry, Mr. Mescudi? Yes. Mr. Combs thought it could be good for your career if you collaborated with Mr. Cudi. I mean, Mr. Mescudi. Yes. Why did you begin your relationship with Mr. Mescudi? We enjoy each other's company. Where you were in a relationship with Mr. Combs. We were on a break. This bit always makes me laugh. This bit always makes me laugh because it just undermines her credibility in regards to the idea that she was being trafficked, and in regards And in regards to the fact that that this was Rico, because end of the day, they were in a full on relationship, uh, and at times they stepped out on each other. That doesn't mean sex trafficking. But she says that they want a break. But you were still doing free calls with him. Yes, even when they were on a break. In my opinion, this may make her not come across as credible, but only in the context of the charges being brought. Because end of the day, it's all about what's in those jury instructions. After Mr. Combs found out by going through your phone, you went to see him. You knew he was upset. He previously attacked you. Yes, I thought I'll be safer with our people there. Okay, they're gonna go on a break. Continuing on. Okay, Miss Ventura back, and Drew enters. Your affair with Mr. Mascudi was only a month long, but you got a burner phone for it, right? Mr. Combs kicked you in the back. Yes, this came up later in your relationship that you had cheated on him with Kikudi. He brought it up quite a bit. When he cheated, he said, "Well, you had an affair with Kikudi, right?" Sometimes he suspected you having an affair with another person in the industry. You were in South Africa filming. Yes, honey, free. While you were there, you saw a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina, and you were irate, right? Angry. You blocked him and focused on the movie, right? I try my best. Mr. Combs suspected you of a relationship with whom? Michael B. Jordan. You sent a video not only to Mr. Combs but also to the staff who D Rock. Yes, you sent it to them because you were angry with all of them. I was hurt. I spent all my time with them. You thought they were in on it. The physical abuse. When did your father learn about it? Same time as my mother. Did Mr. Combs come to Connecticut to speak to your parents? I don't know if it was then. Clay Morgan knew about the abuse. Yes, yes. The eyebrow gash incident. What was it about? Didn't answer the phone and went to sleep. I was supposed to be packing for a trip. He was inebriated. I don't remember that. Why were you asleep? He, a drink at the Abbey has something in it, I think. Did Mr. Combs ever abuse you while he was inebriated, then say he didn't remember it? Yes. Did you feel he was not taking responsibility? Yes. For drugs, you both go to rehab. Rehab wasn't really a thing during our relationship. The free calls were an opportunity for you to take drugs together. Yes. You went a lot to Burning Man. Yes. Did you ever call yourselves um get guy partners? We did. Did you take drugs from him without him knowing it? Yes. Was he what was his what was he reaction? Explosive. Did he tell LA dealers not to deal to you? Yes. You told Miss Coram that you learned only after the fact that Mr. Combs had dangled Miss Bungalow off the balcony. I'm not sure. You were on drugs? I'm not sure. You got a life coach for your drug use, according to this document. I don't know who that person is. You were doing a lot of drugs. It was a rough time. You tried to get into rehab. The the golden door. It was a spa. There was a time I lost all sense of smell and taste, and woke up in the hospital with an IV in my arm. I tried then to get help. So what they're showing right here is she was engaging in drugs and all of that. But the picture that they're painting is that she was doing these drugs voluntarily. And if and this is something that wasn't presented by the prosecution because they didn't show that Cassie was doing drugs, and nor Diddy was making her do drugs. So this is very key because again, we're talking about her being trafficked. So the introduction of drugs is a compelling element that if she was being coerced to 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 do trafficking, unless Diddy was making her take those drugs, this shows that she was willing to engage in all these activities by herself. The time after Sam Benito, you learned that he had overdosed. a very strong opiate, yes. Were you ever not addicted to painkillers? We took Ibogaine. Where did you get it? Cancun, Mexico, separately. When Mr. Combs threw you off the boat in Cannes, w- when he accused you of taking drugs and squeezed your leg, among other things. But you still wanted to be with him. I did. Switching topics. When you say Mr. Combs, when with guns to find Suge Knight, did do you remember telling the government that you did go with them? No. Let me show you. I did not go with them, so I don't think I said that. You also did drugs with Miss Morgan, right? Yes. Do you recall telling the government that you did not set what he did, hitting her in the head with a wooden hanger? I saw the hanger. I saw he was angry that I was doing drugs with Kerry. This broke up a your 17-year friendship with her. It did. Did you tell Mr. Combs about your relationship with your now husband? No. Miss Morgan sued you and Mr. Combs made a demand, and you paid up part of that. I did, and you haven't spoken with her since. Maybe one text. That was the relationship ender. Yes. You would heat up the baby oil. Yes. Now is this from day one, day before the intercontinental hotel incident? This was a long document. We need time to read it. They're back from the break. Is this from March 4th? With UCC time is March 3rd. Okay, Mr. Combs refers to accessories for the premiere. You sent him an explicit message. Yes. He responded with with a number of M's. He wrote too bad you have to work, lol. He did. You ask him, are you feeling better? Then he is discussing bodily function. Yes. Could we just clarify what time the messages are really from? UCT. They put a stipulation there, which we're not gonna go through this stream. Okay, reading on. Then he says, I just got out of a spiritual therapy session. I asked, how did it go? He said, it's a process. This is leading up to the hotel incident. You say, baby, I want to freak out so bad. You were asked in your direct and said you didn't want him to ruin your premiere. Sure. Mr. Gum says, if we start at 7 p.m. and go until 4 a.m., you can get enough rest after. Yes. So what they're showing here is she was the one that was initiating the freak off the the hotel video that was being played of the intercontinental hotel was a freak off, and she was the one that was initiating it. Is what you're saying. And what they're further showing here is there was some consideration by Mr. Combs to have this done so that she can get enough rest. Doesn't sound like she was being coerced. It sounds like she has all the power to engage in this activity. Again, putting a dent to the prosecution case, to the government's case, that he's the one with all the power, that he controlled. So this changes what happened. This changes the idea with that video in the context of sex trafficking. Again, I keep saying this is not, if this was a domestic violence case, he's going to prison. But when you change the context, there are different elements you have to meet for RICO and sex trafficking. He's saying it will be shorter than usual freak off. That's how I understand it. What do you say? Kerry is here. We can't do it in my house. At my house, you say that guy is sick. I'm not going to ask what you meant. So you were turning to Johnny. Was he a dancer or an escort? We hired him as a dancer, but he did what an escort does. Do you remember the beginning of this freak off in the Intercontinental? Not really. The drugs were bad, MDMA, right? I have no idea. It's 5 o'clock. Jurors may go home, so they went home that day. Uh, let's go back. Okay, so this is tomorrow, May 16th. Let's just get this out of the way. Uh, what did you write? I wrote. I wrote. when you get effed up the wrong way, you meant drugs and alcohol. Here, Mr. Combs writes to you. I'm so horny for you. This is not in evidence. Here, Mr. Combs is asking you for sex soon after intercontinental, right? I was saying who was I was saying who he felt. What did you write back? I wrote we need a different vibe than Friday at the Intercontinental. Mr. Combs wrote F Friday. I don't even want to do that again. What did you write? I wrote low true. Mr. Combs suspected you're of having an affair with someone else in the industry. What happened when he took your phone? We were in the car and he told me to call my mother. When I did, he grabbed my phone and took it. It was a big fight. He was just gone. For how long? A few hours until my mother called the police. Did Mr. Combs go through your phone? I think so. He called someone on it. The person you had an affair with, an NFL player. I don't know if he was playing anymore, but he was an NFL player and he was jealous. Wasn't there a time he found out you were dancing with another person in the entertainment industry and took your phone? Right? I don't remember. It was Chris Brown. I was not dancing with him. Look at this. It's from 2013. Now I see. What else did Mr. Combs take? My car, my passport, when he was angry. Let's refresh you about Combs being in rehab. I vaguely remember. Why did you go to Sedona? I went to Arizona to get away from the drugs. I'm going to a new topic. Mr. Combs told you to go get the video you heard about. What did you write? I wrote, you kept putting me down. I'm going to play you some audio. If you saw a video of someone effing me, who was effing me, you have it. Why didn't you show me? Cause I'm disrespectful. Cause I'm not disrespectful, bro. If you don't show me, I will kill you. Cut you up. I will effing kill you. I've never killed anyone in my life. I'm going to f you up. It's not going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do it. I'm not playing with you, Sujit. Tell me, that was you, right? Yes. Did Mr. Combs express concern about these videos being released? When? Ever? Yes. The escort, Jonathan, you thought he took a video? Yes. So, uh going back to the audio, I think that audio is to demonstrate that she wasn't as powerless because she herself was acting in a manner that if I don't know it. I mean, it's I don't know why the defense brought that in because maybe they were trying to prejudice her. But if that audio was directed, it wasn't directed at Combs. It was directed as some guy called Shujit. But if it was directed at Combs, it would have made a more compelling case for someone that wasn't on the jurors. I don't know why the defense played the audio. Um, if you know why, let me know in the chat. Random girl, thank you so much for joining. Good evening to you. Let me get up your message. Yeah, thanks for joining. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat as well. Okay, so let me go back to the reading. Mr. Combs spent a lot of money to make sure the video didn't get released. I don't know. You had a conversation with Jonathan Odie that was transcribed. I'm not sure. He was volatile. I didn't trust him. What did Mr. Combs say when you told him you thought Miss Odie was recording? He said he would take care of it. Are you aware of an escort leaving comments on Mr. Combs' Instagram page? I am not. Now let's talk about rehab. Do you uh still do Suboxone? Sometimes something like it. What does it treat? Opioid addiction? Objection overruled. You wrote a book in rehab. The place treats sexual compulsion. The sidebar, back from sidebar. Did you get neurofeedback therapy? Yes. What is it? They hook something up to your head and show you things. See how you react. Were you told the effects of it? help me with trauma, with my trauma. Did you participate in EMDR? Yes. What does it do? Memories and processing them. The idea is you recall prior traumatic memories like PTSD. You're being treated for PTSD? Yes. I was still physically developing. You were 22. Women keep developing after 22, don't you think? But you were not suggesting you were still developing after 22. I am not. Snark. This message is it's about having a freak out without ketamine, right? May I come for counsel? No. Jury's out. Let's go for a break. They're back in. Mr. Combs wrote, "You're so predictable. You have said you were going to tell him you didn't want to do freakouts anymore, but you didn't say it. You didn't say it, did you? I did not. Here you were suggesting freaking off with a girl. You say you found a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina while you were staying with your parents in Connecticut, right? Yes. You decided to break up with him and he didn't threaten you, but suggested couples counseling. I don't know. That's key. That's key here. He didn't like that's key. That's not an act of someone that is that is trafficking someone. Like couples counseling over threats. Good. The defense, that evidence from the defense is particularly good. For the reason again it gives further dents to the idea of sex trafficking. In August of 2018, you called a closure conversation. Mr. Combs was inviting you to Burning Man, right? Yes. I, I'll read, Mr. Combs. You have anger. I wrote, my family knows. I am not running around telling our business. I wrote, I don't need you to be taking off Kim and Gina. I needed you to put me first. Please read this. I wrote, you lied to me. She never went away. It was a nail in the coffin. You meant Gina the photo? Yes. Uh in your civil lawsuit, you say Mr. Instagrams raped you in September 2018 after you had dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, right? Yes. Did you meet Mr. Combs? Did you meet with the U.S. on November 30th, 2023? Yes, not exact date. In this meeting, you said the rape took place after Mr. Combs returned from Burning Man. You said he was acting strangely at that dinner. I don't remember exactly that word. Did you meet the U.S. on April 8th, 2025? Around then. This message to FB. Who's that? Frank Black, a name he used. He wrote, I'm an investor conference. We'll get back to this. You still have love for him. I have love for the past and what it was. You wrote, I didn't mean to be a B word. I just don't get the time. He writes, just need you to be positive, correct? Yes. DX1309. This is about a yoga instructor. Yep. What did you write? I wrote, I've stopped even caring. But you did care. Yeah. So he said you could date our people. Let's just talk about it, correct? Yes. Again, showing non-coercion and no pattern of, yeah. What did you write? I wrote, I do love you. I would just prefer not being one of your girlfriends. Let's get up tomorrow night. I'll do studio from 6 to 9. He writes, can I hold you, or are you just going to break up with me? And you write back, we can embrace law. And you wanted to hug him, right? That's what I said. Did you have sexual intercourse with Mr. Combs that night? I did. And during that, your now husband first time you? Yes. Your now husband didn't know that you were with Mr. Combs at the time. I don't know what he knew. Later, he discovered it. Objection overruled. You don't, your husband, your, you don't, your husband, you were raped. Not that evening. After Miss Porter's memorial service, you wrote to him that you were going home. Why had he called Kim his soulmate? What was what was the 11 years all about? Yes, that was hurtful at the time. Yes, and after that memorial service, you never saw Mr. Combs again, right? I did not. He let you go, right? I never saw him again. I don't know about letting me go. You got married to the love of your life, right? I will say this because the defense have shown that there was no kind of threats or anything made when she tried to leave here, and she left because of the way that Sean was reacting to Kim Paul's death. But I do remember that when she did try to move on to the husband, I do remember when I was researching for a video on PD that I did on my channel, that that he wrote Instagram messages to to Cassie and the new husband Alex Fine. Um, I don't think it came up on redirect because that would have shown a pattern of trying to like control her one way or the other. But I know what she means here when she says I don't know about letting me go, because he was still going on her Instagram and wishing her the best and saying, yeah, love wins and all that, even after she's gone. Moving back on, yeah, okay, so that's redirect is on now. I think redirect, is it redirect now? Nope. Okay, it's still cross. My bad. Okay, so he says, Miss Ventura, we're almost done here. Thank you. I'll read Mr. Combs' messages. You're going to make it a beautiful mother. God bless. I said thank you. God bless. I wrote we should talk more and have closure. Mr. Combs sent back a tear face emoji. He said you were always my ride or die. I thought it was nice. You've been craving that before. I don't think I was craving now. So she wanted to talk to him to have closure. You shaped you over 11 years. Silence. You shaped each other. Yes. Your husband's it's a physical trainer. Yes. The house you grew up in Connecticut was relatively modest compared to mansions. Yes. You were preparing to tour with Matt Testa. Yes. Yes, he's an engineer. Once you sell your lawsuit, you cancel the tour, right? Yes, because you no longer needed the money. That was not the reason. That wasn't the reason. After the hotel video came out, you posted on Instagram that domestic violence is the issue, right? Yes, I still feel that way. Mr. Combs wrote, want to freak off one last time? What did you write? I don't want it to be the last time. I want you to freak off for the first time. No further questions. I don't know when they said that this message was on, but this was probably when she broke up with him the first time around. This the fact that she even wants this freak off, and he was proposing it like as a freak off for the last time. It just puts to bed the idea that he was using these freak offs to control her, which would be sex trafficking. But in this case, from what I understand or interpret from this line of questioning, it shows that the freak offs were that she had control over them. So on redirect, let me just say hi to let me know how you're feeling in the chat. She redirect goes as follows. Miss Ventura, you were shown this message where you ended. I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. What did you say after that? Yes, I'm horny. Just got over a UTI. You were shown messages today in which you and Sean were kind and loving. Yes. Did those period ever last? Objection overruled. No, they didn't last. There, there would a downswing. There will be a downswing. What world did Sean open up to you? A world of chaos. In your 11-year relationship, who did you want to have sex with? Only him at the time. When Sean wrote "Seduce Me All Day," what did you do? Write about freak offs. Were you able to cancel work obligations for freak offs? Yes. If I was told to. When you were shooting the movie in South Africa and you blocked him, how did he contact you? Through Maya. He said he didn't remember hurting you. Did you believe him? not always, but because I knew him. There were times he was pretty aware of what he was doing. He was just who he was. I would see him be violent with other people. On the way back from Cannes, what did Sean do? He played a video of me having sex with an escort. What did he say he would do? He said he will release it. When you got to NY, what did Sean ask for? A freak off, or he release it. So the in my opinion, this is damning for, because her testimony is evidence. So even if there's no video of this actually happening, her testimony is evidence, and I think this is damning for um for for Diddy in terms of the control that he had over her. So it puts back into the this Can's incident happened during the relationship. So even though the defense had successfully shown that there were times that she controlled the free cuffs, that she even wanted the free cuffs, the fact that he had said have a free cuff or I'll release it goes to the element of sex trafficking. Because she's being forced in this case to have to engage in debauchery, as it says in the Mann Act. So this in my opinion helps helps the case that the prosecution is putting on. When Sean wrote, "You ready for tonight?" What did he mean? Freak off. What were you afraid he would do if you did not do that freak off? Object overruled. I don't know that week. Next question. Do you have any doubt Sean raped you? I have no doubt. After Sean raped you on August 18th, did you later have consensual sex with Sean during which your husband FaceTime you? Yes. Why did you cancel the tour? I found my civil suit. I was overwhelmed. Addressing the past the way that I chose to was overwhelming. I didn't want to go. Did you plan to file more lawsuits? No. Would you give the 20 million back if you had to do free cuffs? Overruled. I'll give it back to get my agency back. Did he beat you during the free cuffs? Yes. Were you open to free cuffs at the beginning? At the beginning. Did did you tell him when you have when you no longer wanted to do them? Yes, more than once. What concerns did you have about saying no to free cuffs? Safety, career, and love. So what they have done, especially being beaten during the free cuffs, again, it adds to the sex trafficking element, because this shows that she was a sex slave, and the fact that there's all that, and the fact that the government showed that he threatened to release the the videos if they didn't have free cuff doesn't look good here. No further questions. You knew Mr. So Recross. You knew Mr. Combs' sexual preference was these free cuffs, right? I learned. It was part of being his girlfriend. Yeah. You kept your old device. Yes. And free cuff videos in this case, they were all on those devices you kept from 2012 until 2014. I did not know what year. You were able to stand at his side at the Met Gala, being his girlfriend, gave you access to producers. Yes. Beyond Kid Cudi, what other musicians were put in the studio with were were you put in the studio with Nicki Minaj? Yes. So what they're going back to is the topic of Rico here, because there is proof from the lawsuits. There is proof out there that he was, like, for example, here I'll show you I'll show you the he he was she was put in studios with Lil Wayne and those big artists at the time, and this was, if I'm not mistaken, 2013, 2013 to 2014. So um so yeah, so what it's showing is he was not controlling her career, and the RICO charge, um where you need that to happen. So she was given every opportunity to advance her career, and they're demonstrating that here. So it says you were put in the studio with Lil Wayne, yes, and with Rick Ross and Pusha T. Am I forgetting any names? You've got a lot of names. You are self conscious about a bunch of musical talent. I wouldn't say that. You had a bad performance on 106 and Park early in my career. You did music videos. Were they successful? Again, showing that she had full control of her career, and she is the one that didn't make it work. It's basically what they're trying to argue. D Rock was like a member of your family, yes, like a brother. The assistant Mia, you also had a friendship with, yes. Okay, here you begin with an explicit message, and he responds with one you are actively sexting. You stated that you are feeling overwhelmed after filing your civil suit, right? Yes. You recently received a settlement from the Intercontinental. No. You made a demand. Yes, 10 million maybe. Um, any further? I just have one question. This is redirect. I was asking Miss Esteval, can you wrap up in 2 minutes? Let me just okay. Why did you keep these devices? I was afraid of what was on them. I wouldn't take them to Apple to store. One question. You reached 10 million settlement with Intercontinental last week before trial? Overruled, yes. So that's all. So, and this is Don Richard's testimony is gonna come up. Uh they just let me just go into straight to Don Richard's testimony, and then we'll call it a day. Who is depicted in okay, let me I went too far down, okay. Your Honor, the government calls Don Richard. Where you from? New Orleans, Louisiana. From 2004 to 2011, who do you work for? Puff Sean Combs. Do you see him? Yes. Who is depicted in this photo? Cassie. In 2009, did you observe an incident between Puff and Cassie? She was attacked by Sean Combs, kicked. Did you see more violence by him against Cassie? Often. When you're a member of this group, 2009 to 2011, the incident in when Sean Combs beat Cassie, where was it? In Sean Combs' LA home. We were recording. What did he do? He was saying, "Where the f is my food?" He grabbed a black skillet with eggs and tried to hit her over the head. Cassie dropped to the ground. What did she do? She went into the field position. Then what? Sean Combs was kicking her in the head and body, then dragged her up to the first floor, glass breaking and yelling. I was scared for her and for me too. Did you intervene? No. Did you call the police? Do you call the police? No. The next day, what happened? That that it has been passionate and she was okay. That it would be better if we didn't talk. That people could end up missing. How did you understand that? Deaf. Objection sidebar. Okay, so uh that was it. So that's all testimony. So in my opinion, um in in, in in my opinion, in regards to all this, we know that this is wild. And in regards to Cassie being, because she's a star witness, and everyone else are certified to seeing violence done upon her. So what they're trying to paint her as is as a sex slave that couldn't leave this because of the environment that was created by Diddy. Even though I do believe that the case put on so far, that the case put on so Okay, sorry about that. Oh, damn, my mic was off. I do apologize, guys. Okay, so what was I saying? So, like I was saying before, like the freak offs, the fact that Diddy had threatened her to release the videos in regards to the freak offs, this doesn't help him, even though the defense was good. The defense done a good job in laying that some parts of this relationship was consensual, that a lot of it was consensual, that Cassie was a willing participant. Even though they lay up that groundwork, the fact that Cassie had testified that at Cannes that she was threatened that the figures video would be removed, would be released if she didn't do a freak off, that may not help him, because that's all you need to prove coercion. That's all you need, an act that would show that she had no choice but to engage in this activity. Now, we're not getting what we promised by the government, in my opinion, because the government promised that he was in full control regardless. But they're trying to use the fact that he was being violent with her to show the coercion and the control. It works in a domestic violence context, but I don't know how it's gonna work in terms of sex trafficking. The RICO part, I think is falling apart for them. I don't think they have that down packed, because end of the day, he didn't use they might try and use the fact that he hired escorts to come and engage. They might try and get the money from that. But if he was not using, it's gonna be interesting, because if he was not using his companies to put these escorts to use as escorts, it might be an interesting argument there. But like I said, in regards to R. Kelly, we saw the prosecution present credible evidence of R. Kelly using his bodyguards and assistants, etc., to bring to bring young girls to come and have sex with him, and to do his bidding. That helped with the RICO charge, and as well as the other child charges. Although it's a different case, that's how they prove the RICO. I'm not seeing that here, because end of the day, we are not seeing the bodyguards being used to maybe keep Cassie there, or to even bring on these escorts. If it was shown that the bodyguards were bringing people against their will, maybe that would work out better. But I'm not seeing that at all. Because end of the day, Cassie was still allowed to pursue her career. So that part, in my opinion, the RICO part is the only part that I think they have a lot of it will be an uphill battle to try and prove that element. To try and prove that charge. But in terms of sex trafficking, I think they have all the elements that they need. So yeah, let me just read the chat before I go. I'm going Alana, good to see you too. I'm glad to be. Let me try and get that up. Good. Yeah. Thank you, Alana. I miss doing this. I'll be back next week. I'll be back next week, Sunday, to report on week 3 and what's happening there. I'll try and make that a shorter stream, because I do want these streams to be a bit more digestible. But we had some difficulties along the way. I'll try and keep this in under 2 hours. But yeah, thank you so much to all that tuned in. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next episode. Make sure you tune in on every Sunday for the Ketchup Court podcast as we go through legal cases. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now. Show is over, but that does not mean that the fun has to end. And I know how cliche that sounds, but really and truly, the fun really does not have to end. You know how good our streams are and how fun they can be. So we have decided to put them all into a podcast and a playlist format for you to binge on if you so wish. We also do recaps and clips of the best bits, the worst bits, all of those bits, lady bits, every bits, whatever it might be. We do that as well, and we upload onto the channel so in case you guys just you don't wanna watch the full thing, you have the option of watching just the short versions. It's up to you. You have the choice. You have the power, like E-Man. So without further, you can also check out the main Heinz website where we continue the discussions over there, but in a more broader context to try and get into the psychology of why all these things happen. The end screen should be up here so that you guys can see the content you guys can watch. The playlist will be on your left hand side or right hand side, I don't know which one, and the video that and a recap clip should pop up here. So without further, I'll just say bye, and I'll see you on the next stream, and most importantly, the Unintentional Juror podcast. See you there.